And we are green. The opening 5 races of the NASCAR Nationwide Series have been full of hard-fought, give-no-ground racing. Tonight's race is a 200-lapper at Phoenix International Raceway, a tough mile track where striking quickly is key. A fast Friday night fight's about to begin, racing in the Wild West.
10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition.
Welcomes you to NASCAR Countdown, presented by Hellman's from the spectacular setting that is Phoenix International Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. It's a beautiful place, this 1-mile track tucked against the desert hills, but make no mistake, it's a tough test too. Each end of the speedway shaped differently than the other, and with just a short 200-lap, 200-mile distance, there's always a sense of urgency to the racing here that makes it a lot of fun to watch. This is a one-day show for the Nationwide Series. Practice was from 8 to 10 local time this morning. Qualifying was about 4 hours ago. Handling the heat of the afternoon best, 2 former series champions. Kyle Busch qualified second quickest, putting his Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota on the outside of the front row. He'll be alongside Carl Edwards for the start. Edwards running just 61 thousandths of a second quicker than Kyle to claim the pole position in his Roush Fenway Racing Ford, the first pole of the season and third at Phoenix for Edwards. As you look at the front of the grid, make particular note of the drivers in those first 2 rows. Past history tells us the winner tonight's more than likely to come from those first 2 rows. We'll have more on that in just a few minutes. First, though, we begin with one unexpected change to your driver lineup for tonight. That has occurred as a result of this wreck in this morning's practice. John West Townley spun around and hit the wall hard in turn number 2 in the Richard Childress Racing 21. Because of that hit, Richard Childress has put former series champ Clint Boyer aboard that car tonight. Boyer was going to sit with us as an analyst in the pit studio during the race. Dave Burns, he's got a little better seat for the show now, huh?
Yeah, Alan, that's like moving from seat 10C in coach to first class for Clint Boyer now as he gets to drive this Richard Childress number 21. How difficult jumping in this situation, Clint?
Well, you know, it is a difficult situation. You know, first of all, we need to say, you know, hopefully John West is okay. He hit pretty hard and good family, good kid. He's been doing a good job. He's got the speed. We just got to get, you know, these wrecks, you know, behind us. And hopefully we can have a good night here, get a good finish for the Zaxby Chevrolet and get things going back, headed back in the right direction for him to get back in. You know, by no means do I want to step in this thing full time. You know, he's a deserving up-and-coming driver, and hopefully he can get back in this thing and perform well, you know, on into the year. But for tonight, we're selling chicken. We're going to have some fun.
Obviously, you had to be pretty careful in qualifying. Do you think the car's underneath you now, and can you race it and possibly win with it?
It was definitely underneath of me in qualifying. It was really tight, but you know, we're going to adjust on it here and hopefully, you know, get in early and get a good adjustment on it. But have a lot of fun with Dan, all the championship guys from a couple years ago, so it'll be a fun night.
All right, Alan, last time he raced in this series, November of last year, and it was right here at Phoenix. He finished 4th.
Boyer starting 21st tonight in car 21. Thank you, David. Next up is a follow-up on an incident in last week's Nashville race. James Buescher in the 1 car hit Jason Leffler's 38 just 42 laps into the race. The crash causing significant damage to Leffler's car. Well, after time in the garage for repairs, Leffler returned, and 100 laps later returned the favor, squeezing Buescher into the wall. For the payback, NASCAR officials parked Leffler for the day and placed Jason on probation for the next 3 races, beginning with this one. Jason finished 2nd in this race last year. He starts 22nd tonight. Shannon Spakes with him.
Jason Leffler in the middle of all the excitement last week in Nashville. NASCAR said they're going to be watching you for the next couple weeks. How do you approach the racing differently when you know that you're on probation?
You don't approach it, you know, any differently. I mean, you drive aggressive, but you know, my main focus today is to get a good finish. Great clips. Camry's been really good at some races, but we just haven't had the finishes to show for it. So that right there, you know, it makes you drive a little cautious because we just need to get a nice top 10, top 5 finish today, and we can do that here. This is a favorite track. My car's pretty good, so looking forward to tonight and just putting last week past us.
You say your car's pretty good. You are starting 22nd. What's the goal to get up front here tonight?
Pass as many cars as we can without crashing them.
Pass as many cars and be flawless on pit road. Jason Leffler, He rolls off 22nd.
All right, Shannon, thanks.
That was good.
One of the many things to love about this Phoenix racetrack, and there are many, is that you get a great view of the action no matter where you sit, but particularly for us in our ESPN pit studio, because we are right on top of the exit of turn number 2, where a lot of things will happen throughout these 200 laps. We welcome you inside. Alan Bestwick with former Phoenix winner Rusty Wallace and champion crew chief Andy Petrie. Big Brad has the night off. I know, Rusty, this is a racetrack you really love. Why?
I love this racetrack, no doubt about that. Here's the reason why. It's a kind of a flat racetrack. It's slippery. It's slimy. I like that type of stuff. It drives like a short track. Look, I know it's a mile racetrack, no doubt about that. But you got short track tires, short track setup, and you know what? You even got short track tempers here.
Yeah, you love that short track racing. The Leffler-Buscher incident at Nashville was a payback. NASCAR said before the start of the season they were going to let him race. The Carl Edwards-Brad Keslowski thing in Atlanta got a lot of attention, but Andy, we've seen more hitting back in this nationwide series than in the Cup Series. Why?
Well, I think the biggest reason is they can. NASCAR has really taken the handcuffs off these guys and let them race. They really have done that, and they've proven it. They've given small penalties for some of the paybacks. When you get crashed or you get wronged on the racetrack, you get really frustrated, and some of these drivers are taking it back out on the track and settling it right now, and I think that's what we're seeing.
You know, you see some of these drivers are really in tough shape right now. A lot of them are not running good. They're scared they're going to lose their ride, and they're not in the mood for anybody to mess with them. I mean, I've seen a lot of these guys right on the edge thinking they're going to get fired, and somebody spins them out, and they're not going to tolerate that. They're mad. They're concerned, all kind of stuff like that, Andy.
And one of the things here, you see these drivers are getting away basically scot-free. They get some probations here and there. The people that are paying for this are the teams back home. They're having to work overtime hours to fix these race cars, so they're still having to pay the price when these guys take it out on the track.
And we heard you say a minute ago, you think we might see some more of that tonight?
I think we will. I mean, especially late in the race right here. I mean, if you look at the history, we've seen a lot of crashes late in the race right here at Phoenix. In fact, I expect to see a lot of the problems on the restarts. We've seen restart problems many times here at Phoenix, but wait till late in the race, buddy. That's when it's going to happen.
All right, the situation with John West Townley and the 21 car. You heard Clint Boyer's comments just a minute ago. Andy, you've been an owner. Never an easy decision to take a driver out of a car.
No, it's not. When you start a season out, you start with all the expectations of success. I mean, the team, they build the best cars they can. The driver's obviously doing everything he can behind the wheel. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And this is one of those cases. I think, you know, this team has experienced success, and they're used to it. They're used to winning races, and they're not used to putting clips on cars, crashing cars week in and week out. And sometimes you just got to say, okay, enough's enough. We got to try something different. And it is a tough situation to be in.
And you don't expect to see Townley back in that car.
Well, I talked to some of the officials with the team this afternoon before the qualifying, and I don't expect. I'll be very surprised if I see John West Townley back in this 21 car.
So we'll follow Clint Boyer as he drives the 21 car tonight. Another driver we'll follow tonight will be Kyle Busch. Last couple of races here at Phoenix, Kyle's had to make some pretty heavy-duty comebacks to get a good finish. This was last April, had a broken shock on the 18 car, went to pit road, lost 2 laps making repairs. They made him both up. He finished 10th. Then in November, with the championship on the line, got into an early crash. His crew kept working on the car to adjust for the damage, and they came back to finish 9th en route to locking up the title. Hoping for a clean night and a third Phoenix win, Jamie, Kyle starts on the outside of row 1.
Well, Kyle has certainly seen the highs and the lows of this racetrack that is Phoenix. The car you're racing tonight actually was wrecked here in November, but your crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, says it's the best short track car you guys have. How would you describe it tonight?
Well, we've been fighting a little bit in practice, just trying to get a better handle for everything, but the combos Camry will be good. You know, I'm looking forward to it. We got a different setup that we've never run here before, so something to look forward to tonight, maybe something different for our short track package this year, and hopefully it pays off.
Hey, Kyle, you're starting second. You know, 3 of the 5 races this year, 1 from second position. Alan?
All right, Jamie, we'll keep an eye on the 18 starting on the front row tonight. Still to come, Kevin Harvick Incorporated has fielded the winning car in 3 of this year's 5 Nationwide Series races. We'll hear from Kevin on the fast and fun start he's enjoyed this year. Plus, the man who's won 2 of the last 3 at Phoenix, Carl Edwards, on family life, double duty driving, and more. It's NASCAR Countdown, presented by Hellman's from the Valley of the Sun.
NASCAR Countdown is presented by the mayonnaise that's real and delicious, Hellman's.
Last weekend at Nashville, Kevin Harvick picked up his 2nd win of the season in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. The team using a 2-tire strategy late to get track position that they never gave up. It was the 3rd Nationwide Series win in 5 tries this year for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. That team that Harvick and his wife Delana formed got its first win at this track 8 years ago in a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race. Their first win in this nationwide series came at Daytona, not a bad place. Tony Stewart drove to victory for them there in February of '05. There have been 2 championships in the past 3 years, both in the Truck Series, both with driver Ron Hornaday. And then just over 12 months ago, Kevin finally got what had been an elusive win driving for his own team, all leading up to the hot start for KHI in the Nationwide Series 2010. Kevin lines up 10th tonight, and Dave, he's looking for more.
Well, in 2009, there were 7 different drivers that occupied the seat of that 33 car. In 2010, just 1. And a lot of people are saying that is the secret to your success this year, Kevin. Do you agree with that? And if not, why?
Well, that's really what we built our program around is what I like in the cars. And when you get the feedback every week and we can take it back to the shop and analyze it and make the changes and adjustments that we need, it makes it better every week. So today our Jimmy John's car is really good in race trim and didn't qualify as good as we'd like to, but I think the car will be good in race.
And I'm hearing that between the Truck Series wins and the nationwide wins, the celebration lunches are backing up a little bit at the shop.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. So it's been an incredible start to the year with the trucks and the cars, the Cup cars running good. So right now life is good.
Good time to be Kevin Harvick, and a good time for him to be our in-race reporter tonight. If you'd like to have one of your questions asked to Kevin, go to ESPN.com, search Ask the Driver, and submit your question, and maybe he'll answer it. Alan?
All right, David, thanks. Kevin starting in the 10th position for tonight's race. Why is winning in his own car different for Harvick? Andy, championship crew chief, won races with many drivers, including Dale Earnhardt. He also won races as a team owner. What was the difference?
Well, winning races in any capacity at the top level and at the nationwide level it's a big deal. It really is. But when you actually win as an owner, you're responsible for all of those positions. You're responsible for putting the driver in that position, the crew chiefs, the sponsors on the cars, the way the cars are built. You have a hand in all of that. And when you win with your own stuff, it means a lot, let me tell you.
That is Andy celebrating a win as a team owner back at Talladega. That was Bobby Hamilton behind the wheel. Great day there. This team has won 3 of the 5 races this year in the Nationwide Series. Tony Stewart at Daytona, a couple for Kevin. What's made the difference for Harvick Incorporated this year versus last?
I really think it's Kevin Harvick, number one. I mean, he had a lot of drivers a year before. Right now, Kevin's staying in this car. He's designing everything. He's telling the guys what he wants in the setup, what kind of shocks he wants. I mean, basically, Kevin is his own onboard computer. He's the guy feeding all the information what he needs, and because of that, he's built consistency, he's built fast cars, and that's what you got to have if you're going to build a foundation for a new team. He's doing a great job at it.
Well, I also got to give Kevin a lot of credit for having the commitment to make this thing work. I mean, he got out of a car that was winning races regularly at Richard Childress Racing. I mean, they were having a lot of fun. He made the commitment to get in the car and drive this thing and make it work. And he didn't have a lot of success doing that. I mean, they took some bumps, but now they're reaping the rewards of that, and they're winning races. And, my hat's off to Kevin. He has really done a great job.
As a team just in the Nationwide Series this year, 3 for 5. Not bad, and Harvick looking for more tonight. If Kevin's going to win tonight, he's going to have to outrun Greg Biffle, among others. Biffle tied with Carl Edwards for most Nationwide Series wins here at Phoenix at 3. And as you see by those numbers, if Greg's in the field in the Nationwide Series at Phoenix, he's going to be a factor. Now, Biffle's the defending winner of this race, and he's really given the underdog Baker Curb Racing team's cars a good run so far this season. Shannon?
Well, the last time Baker Curb went to victory lane, it was back in 2005. Greg, it's an underfunded, underrated team. What would it mean to get to victory lane with this team here today?
I mean a lot. We came so close at California Speedway racing Kyle for the win there. Came up a little bit short, but I think we have a really good car for tonight, and I like this racetrack. So we'll just see if we can put it together for him.
Your crew chief, Ricky Byers, the first season that you're working with him, he said that you're as cool as they come. What's it like been working with him?
Ricky's a great guy. He's really thoughtful. He's thinking through things, and we've just hit it off really good together. And I'm enjoying working with him, and hopefully we can get a win before this thing's over.
Greg Biffle, your defending race winner, rolls off 4th. Alan?
All right, Shannon, thanks. We'll keep an eye on the Biff tonight. Time now for our J-Ski News and Notes. Remember the nasty crash Steve Wallace suffered in last Saturday's Nashville race? Watch that 66 car and watch how far the safer barrier deflects when he hits the wall, just to know how tough that car and that crash was. Steve suffered some broken bones in his right foot. And Dad, he's racing here tonight with the help of a little specially designed shoe.
Yeah, it's got a special shoe, but I talked to him. He says he feels real good. The doctor gave him some pain relief right before the race about an hour ago, and I believe he's going to be in good shape. He feels good about himself.
He's got a carbon fiber fiberglass insert in the shoe to keep his toes from bending?
Yeah, absolutely. They took a piece of carbon fiber and molded it to the bottom of the shoe so his toes won't bend at all, and that's what they want to do, and it's working for him. David
Rudiman standing by in case Steve has to get out of the car. I know, he's a race driver. He's a Wallace. He's not getting out of that 66 car tonight. Steven starts 12th. Now, we have to get you guys from here, outside of turn 2, over to there on top of the grandstands.
Start your clock.
Quickly. Clock is running. Go.
Bye.
While we do that, take a minute to remind you about the ABC NBA doubleheader coming up on Sunday. It is at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. The top 2 teams in the East, Dwight Howard and the Magic, taking on LeBron James and the Cavs. Then at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, Kobe and the Lakers look to get back on track when they host Brandon Roy and the Trailblazers. It's the NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC. Coverage beginning at 12:30 Eastern with GMC Sierra NBA Countdown. Coming up next, Carl Edwards looking for a 4th Phoenix win tonight. We go driver to driver with Carl and find out just how long he's going to keep up his double-duty schedule. And Brad Keslowski lined up in one of those all-important front-of-the-grid starting spots. We'll hear from him and explain why those first 4 starting spots are so critical. All coming up on NASCAR Countdown, presented by Hellman's.
NASCAR Countdown is presented by the mayonnaise that's real and delicious. Hellman's.
Coming down for the green flag at Phoenix International Raceway. And Carl Edwards pulling away. Here comes Edwards, and it's a half a car length, and Edwards will get the win. Here they come at Phoenix International Raceway.
Biffle taking the lead when Carl Edwards had engine problems.
Just squeeze that throttle down, bring it to us.
Greg Biffle will win it at Phoenix. Jack Roush has now won 100 races in the Nationwide Series. Phoenix International Raceway is green.
Carl Edwards is out front now, setting a torrid pace.
Carl Edwards trying to hold on. Here comes Carl Edwards as he takes the win over Kevin Harvick.
Well, no one team has enjoyed the kind of success in the Nationwide Series at this Phoenix Mile that Jack Roush's team has. Roush Fenway Racing has won 7 times, including the last 3 straight. The next highest win total is 2 for Richard Childress Racing. No question Phoenix has been just fine for Roush's Fast Fords. Roush driver Carl Edwards has won 3 times at this track, including 2 of the last 3. Our Dale Jarrett sat down with Carl to talk about his recently becoming a father, how long he'll continue to run double duty, and more, driver to driver.
In the last couple of years, the drivers that we have seen out here in Cup and Nationwide, winning races, winning championships, are the ones that are really more physically fit. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Sometimes I look back and I think, man, I wish I would have never said anything about working out, because every time I go to the gym, there's more and more guys in there. I think that everyone's realizing that that's a more important part of it.
Knowing that you're going to have a child, you're still finding time to be able to do that, and you set that aside, still very important to you, right?
Yes, it is. Kate understands that's a huge priority, and no matter what, I think at the end of the day that helps me to have that extra, 1 or 2% of performance.
1998 is when I really started taking my fitness a little more serious.
Yeah.
No coincidence, I won the championship the next year, and I think it had a big part of it.
Hopefully, like you, it can yield me a championship someday, but right now I'm lifting a lot of weights and not winning a lot of races.
You've done both series for a number of years here. Do you see it anywhere along the way wearing you down and could become a detriment more than it is help?
I've thought about that a little bit lately. You look at Jimmy Johnson, he's doing awfully well without running any nationwide races. And for me, I think that to this point, I've gained 2 years of experience every year. So I came into this thinking, man, I don't know anything about pavement racing to begin with, and I got all these guys I got to catch up to. Now I'm starting to think that eventually, maybe not next year, but pretty soon, I'm going to just focus on the Cup car.
We talked about how quickly you kind of came onto the scene, a little bit from obscurity to all of a sudden here you are winning races, winning championships in the nationwide side. Where do you see yourself as far as going in this sport?
I look at what some of the guys have done, starting their own teams and the successes they've had. But I think along with that comes a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. And, for me, me, I feel like I have to establish myself as a driver. I want to win the Cup championship. You know, I want to win another nationwide championship. Until you get to the top of one thing, I don't think you should jump to the next one.
Well, Carl Edwards has already accomplished one thing he needs to in order to try and win tonight by qualifying on the pole. By the way, Carl started on the front row for all 3 of his Nationwide Series wins here at Phoenix. That leads directly to our Hellman's recipe for success, which tonight is simple. Start up front and stay up front. Here's what I mean. 13 of the 16 previous Phoenix Nationwide Series races have been won from the first 2 rows on the grid. So for those that qualified well, stay out of trouble, have clean pit stops, and stay in position to succeed. And here that means be at the front of the pack. This race is a night race when all the practice was this morning, so staying up front means adjusting your car without losing time on pit road. And for more on that, we go next door to our Craftsman Tech Garage and champion crew chief Tim Brewer. Tim?
Thanks, Alan. One of the quickest changes a crew chief likes to make is air pressure, because you can change that air pressure before the car comes on pit road. You don't have to disrupt the motion of the crew. But when you see a crew member come over, put this wedge wrench in here, what he's doing is the track bar adjustment. He's actually changing the pivot point of the track bar, which changes the rear roll center. You can run it down, tighten the car up, raise it up, free it up. But over in the left rear spring on the other side, we've got a spring rubber inserted. To what we can do is actually pull that spring rubber out, enabling the car to be freer from the center of the corner on out. Look for these 3 adjustments tonight during the race. That's going to get the guys off pit road a lot quicker.
All right, Mr. Brewer, thank you. We'll keep an eye on that on the brief trips to pit road these teams will make during tonight's 200-lap race. Now, even though we're just 5 races into a 35-race season, the top of the championship standings are kind of fun to look at. 5 drivers separated by a mere 61 points, and that's not much the way the point system works. Second in points and third on the grid tonight is Brad Keslowski. And, Jamie, he's hoping to end up at the top of both lists at the end of the night tonight.
And he's feeling pretty confident about it. Was top 3 in practice and qualifying. Brand new race car you guys brought here tonight. What do you think, this is maybe the night for you to get to victory lane for the first time here?
Yeah, we've been fast pretty much all but 1 or 2 races, and even them we were pretty good. So, you know, I feel like we've got a strong shot of winning today with the discount Dodge Charger, and we're just going to keep plugging away, going for that points lead, doing everything we can to have strong, consistent runs and be up in there at top 3 and contend for the win at the end.
All right, he will line up behind Carl Edwards. He will roll off third. Alan?
All right, Jamie, thanks. So a beautiful night for racing here at Phoenix and a fast 200 laps around this Phoenix mile. The guys at the front of the pack, Edwards, Busch, Keslowski, and Biffle. Statistically, those are the guys to watch for the win. But there are a couple of others who might have other ideas as we go throughout the night. The opening ceremonies next. You're watching NASCAR Countdown, presented by Hellman's. Phoenix and the Desert Southwest and the Phoenix International Raceway. Fun place to watch a race. The NASCAR Nationwide Series about to take the green flag for a frantic Friday night on the Fast Phoenix Mile. Who's going to take home the trophy? Well, maybe it'll be Joey Logano. He's led more laps than any other driver this year, but hasn't won yet. He starts in row 3. Maybe it'll be Paul Menard, also in row 3. His single Nationwide Series win came at a mile track like this one. Let's go trackside for the opening ceremony.
Gentlemen, please remove your hats as Carl Hayden High School Varsity Junior ROTC Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Phoenix International Raceway Chaplain Ken Bowers offers tonight's invocation.
Heavenly Father, when we hear the phrase, life is fragile, handle with prayer, it makes us realize just how precious our relationship with you is and how important it is that we communicate with you. So tonight, our prayer is that you will grant us safe racing. Thank you, O Lord, for allowing us to join you here at Phoenix International Raceway. And may each part of tonight's activity be safe. Thank you, O Lord, for all these wonderful blessings, and we know that our life is guarded by you. In your name we pray, and everyone said, Amen.
Please welcome 3-time National Finals rodeo bullfighter and current recording artist Hollywood Yates as he performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let's hear it for Hollywood Yates and the B-52 93rd Bomb Squadron out of Barksdale Air Force Base for tonight's flyby.
So time for the drivers to buckle in. The sun's about to set, which here at Phoenix usually means the sparks are about to fly. The engines fire next.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Phoenix is brought to you by Choice Hotels. When you stay 2 separate times, you can earn a free night. For details, visit choicehotels.com. And Nationwide Insurance, the official auto insurance partner of NASCAR.
The engines fire shortly here at Phoenix International Raceway for tonight's 200-lap NASCAR Nationwide Series Sprint. The Valley of the Sun certainly has lived up to its reputation today. 84 degrees right now, pretty warm. Temperature's going to cool into the 70s after sunset. Perfect conditions to be here at the track in Phoenix. Now, to get from the pit studio to our broadcast booth at Phoenix, you have to go from the studio outside of turn number 2, around the back of the main grandstand, and then up the 150 or so steps to the booth in the 84-degree weather, wearing suit and tie. That is what Rusty and Andy have just done moments ago. Let's head upstairs and join the boys in the booth. Marty, what's the sweat factor like with climbing those 150 steps in 84-degree weather in suits?
You should have seen these two. They're coming up here.
You know, Rusty's setup's always been better than mine at Phoenix, so that's how he beats.
Oh, we told Alan to start the clock, right? Actually, I heard there was a bump and run heading into the stairwell. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about racing because compromise. Sometimes you have to at a certain racetrack. You always felt that way here, and we found out earlier today he doesn't agree with that.
Well, I've always looked at this race. It's a lot different. I mean, you look at one end of the track, it's got more banking than the other end, and then the corners are different. The radiuses are different, so it has been a compromise. I've never been able to get a car to really do what I wanted in both ends, so I've always favored one end or the other. Come to find out, Rusty didn't do that, and maybe that's why you had more success.
Yeah, but Andy, I think you're dead on that you got to compromise at some racetracks, and I think the track that really comes to my mind is Pocono, Pennsylvania, a track that's got 3 different corners. But at this particular track, I've never compromised at all. Look, I wanted everything. I wanted my car to handle good in 1 and 2 and turn 3 and 4. And if I felt like if I compromised at all, I was just giving something up. I just couldn't race like that.
All right, you mentioned it a little bit over when you're on the other side of the track. Let's talk about this front straightaway. It is very narrow, folks. There's no room for error. Take a look, that concrete wall, and the trouble it presents.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of crashes on restarts right there at the start-finish line. Like you said, this track is very narrow. It's very long. It's hard for the competitors to see around each other. And because of that, we've seen many crashes on restarts. In fact, I lost a couple of my own cars just piled up right on top of that start-finish line.
Well, the other factor that we're going to be thinking about is the fact that we've had 7 green-white checker finishes. That's right, 7 at this track. In fact, 4 of the last 5 have gone green-white checker. And crew chief, you better plan.
Oh, yeah, I'm planning for green-white checkers. And further than that, I'm going to plan for more than one because this track gets crazy. It has a history, like you said, of these green-white checkers at the end. And this year, NASCAR's taking off the handcuffs of these guys, and there's no telling how many we could have. And we could have the 3, test that rule of having 3 green-white checkers. I'm going to plan for it.
The last thing you want to do is run out of gas leading the race at the very end because of green-white checkers. You got to plan for it. I totally agree with you.
All right, so we've set the stage. It's time to get this show on the road. Let's go trackside for the command.
Race fans, please welcome today's Grand Marshal, Brandon Basha, grandson of Bashas Supermarkets founder Eddie Basha, as he delivers the most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
But you can crank up when you want. Crank it up when you want. Let me know when it's running. I'll go radio 2.
We marked to him. Let me know when you guys can see that when he gets rolling there.
Sorry, Dylan, I didn't hear you there.
Just running. Radio good, Clint. Tie wrap on the radio.
Well, the engines have fired on all 43 cars, and our in-race reporter will be Kevin Harvick. That's right, the man who's won twice this year, and our last race at Nashville. We'll talk to him when we come back here at Phoenix International Raceway. In case you weren't with us earlier today at qualifying, Brad Keslowski went out and clicked off a time at 27.56 seconds. Was not good enough for the pole, was good for third. Kyle Busch was 1/100th second quicker than Brad. He'll start on the outside of the front row. But Carl Edwards, 61/1,000th of a second quicker than Kyle Busch. He'll be on point tonight. He's won here 3 times, but his 3 wins have all been in the fall race in November. Now, Edwards has finished where he started in 4 of the last 5 races. Maybe a good omen for Carl tonight. The starting grid going to come across the top of the screen. We've told you about the importance of being in the first 2 rows. Who's gone home? Just one driver. Mark Green celebrated his 51st birthday yesterday. He got a bad present today. He's not going to be in this race. 1 car to the rear is the 61 of Josh Wise with an engine problem. So that sets that stage. Let's talk to our in-race reporter, Kevin Harvick. Rusty?
Kevin, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
10-4, Rusty.
Hey, buddy, you're on a bit of a roll right now, man. You won that race in Nashville. Your trucks have been running great, but you qualified 10th here. How's the car for tonight?
The car doesn't have a lot of speed for the first couple laps, but you know, I like the consistency in the car and how it runs lap after lap. So we'll see what happens with our Jimmy John Chevrolet. Track's been through a lot of changes today, and we just got to keep up with them the first pit stop here.
Okay, I got an ESPN mailbag question. It comes from Pogo in Tucson, Arizona. The question is, what will be the biggest challenge tonight with the temperature dropping significantly from practice and qualifying to the race?
I think the biggest challenge is just going to be making the right adjustments the first pit stop here. That's going to be the hardest thing to do. So if we can do that and keep up with it all night, that'll be the hardest thing to keep up with.
All right, Kevin, thanks for talking to us. Have a good race.
Thanks, man.
All right, so you know Kevin has one of our onboard cameras. Let's tell you the rest of them, as Landon Castle will have the GoDaddy.com on board. Justin Allgaier, a winner back at Bristol with Verizon Wireless. Greg Biffle, Nationwide Insurance. Kevin Harvick with Jimmy Johnson, as we mentioned. Carl Edwards with the Ford in-car camera. Stephen Wallace with 5-Hour Energy. Trevor Bain with Aaron's. And Mike Wallace rounds out our onboard situation for tonight. Now, Mark Hollywood Armstrong, the front tire changer for the 66, as Stephen Wallace is our over-the-wall pit reporter. Now, remember, they have a David Ruderman standing by. And, Mark, I got to ask you, if you guys got to pull Stephen out of this car, do you have a specific role in this? And who's responsible for making this smooth?
Well, Dave, earlier today, the guys rehearsed it. My job would just be to assist the guys in it. If we do have to put David Ruderman in the car, but something tells me that Stephen Wallace will stay in the car all night and get back to those top 5 and top 10 finishes like we started the year off. And hey, no fun intended, but what better way than to break into victory lane tonight also?
I got it. No pun intended. Thank you. And there's David Ruderman standing by in case he is needed. But I think you guys are right. Rusty, you said he's going to go the distance. Let's get the latest from pit road. Let's check in first with Jamie Little.
Well, Marty, earlier today, the driver of the 21, John West Townley, had a big hit. As a result, he was replaced by Clint Boyer. Now, Boyer turned his first laps in a Nationwide car this year in qualifying today. But the good news for Clint is this exact race car was built for him last year. It still has his same seat in it. Now, on top of that, see that guy right up top behind the other guy? Dan Deeringhoff is his crew chief, and half of this crew, they all were the champions back in 2008. So it's a little reunion of sorts here tonight. Shannon Spake?
Well, Jamie, it's definitely been a breakout year for Justin Allgaier. He had that win at Bristol Motor Speedway, all top 10 finishes on the season, and he's currently 3rd in the points. The team told me the biggest difference is that Justin's just comfortable in that car. They said when he's up front around the veterans, he doesn't feel like he's racing over his head. He's clear, he's focused, and he rolls off 7th. Dave?
Shannon, the 32 car has finished strong all year this season. Not finished out of the top 10. Reed Sorensen is in it for the 3rd consecutive race tonight. He has finished 7th. He has finished 2nd. And tonight, he hopes to give the team his first win of the season. Marty?
Thank you, guys. We're getting ready to go green. 200 laps on this 1 mile layout. 45 miles an hour is your pit road speed. Lights are out on the pace car. They are into turn 3. 43 cars. Sun will be down in a matter of moments. Track temperature has already dropped significantly. It's going to cool off even more. Coming out of turn number 4, pace car pulls down onto pit road. Everybody tightening up the field. Coming down the front stretch, the 6th race of the 2010 NASCAR Nationwide Series is green. Side by side down into 3, it's Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch.
And the first thing you want to do is get to the bottom of that racetrack and get the track position. You see Carl Edwards on the bottom. No momentum on the top for Kyle Busch right now. Edwards got a good line right there, Andy.
Yeah, it looked like Kyle drove the car down in the corner really hard, and it looked like it stuck, but Carl just rolled the bottom a little bit better through the middle. Now here goes Kyle on the outside.
And Kyle officially led the first lap by a nose, and he takes the lead by a full car length, and he is cleared.
Man, he made that top side work, and I did not expect that. Usually you think on the start of the race here at Phoenix, the bottom is the place to go, but maybe it's a little indication what we're going to see tonight, the top side of the track coming in.
Joey Logano taking a look underneath the 27 of Greg Biffle, and Logano looks like he's got the momentum. Can he carry it down into 1?
Well, they're still side by side. It looks like the bottom of the racetrack is better right now. I expect to see 2 lanes, good 2 lanes of racing as this track rubbers in a little more.
Paul Menard right behind, as is Justin Allgaier, but Logano can't get the job done. Biffle holding on to the spot.
Now, you remember, these 2 have a little history. They don't like each other too much, but it looks like they're racing pretty clean right here.
That goes back to California if you were with us there. And here comes Logano. He does clear, so give him 4th position. And while they were battling, as we've got another battle for 5th now with Reed Sorensen, or I'm sorry, Paul Menard going underneath the 27 of Biffle, it's allowed the first 3 to sort of check out.
Tell you what, guys, I've been pretty impressed with Paul Menard. He's been real strong this year. He's got that 98 Ford running real strong for this team. And it looks like this driver's matured a lot in my mind. He knows more about the car. He's driving smarter. Got a good race going on.
I kind of called out Paul Menard at Daytona at the beginning of the year. I said, you know, this is a year for Paul to step out there and really do something because he's not a rookie anymore, a lot of experience. And this year he's done that. He's really stepped up his program on both sides, the Nationwide and the Cup side, and doing a great job.
Well, guys, nobody's allowing Biffle to get to the low side of the track. Here's Allgaier now going underneath him, as Menard has pulled away from those 2. And right behind is our in-race reporter, Kevin Harvick.
Now, Kevin's won here before. He knows how to get around this track, but he's also really good at negotiating this change in the track. You heard us earlier talking about they practiced during the day, and now it's going to get darker and it's getting cooler, and Kevin's one of the best to figure the change in track conditions out.
Saw a few sparks from Kevin Harvick's car. Now a battle for 2nd place, and Keslowski is going to bump Carl Edwards back to 3rd.
Yeah, no surprise here. This 22 car's been fast every race this year, and he's real fast in practice. And I expect to see him right at the front and contending for this win all night.
You know, Andy, when I got here this morning, it was like 60 degrees out at this racetrack, and the 22 car, Brad Keselowski, was at the very top of the board in this green, real cool racetrack, and he's showing the same thing now.
Well, he's wheeling it, though.
Yeah, and it's opened the door, and here comes Carl as he sticks his nose underneath, and he's got him cleared.
Yeah, but Keselowski's thinking, hey, man, I screwed up just a little bit. Let me get my mojo back together and get past this guy. Every now and then you overdrive the car and you slip out of the lane like Keselowski just did.
Keselowski had top 5s in both races here last year, and the only thing he hasn't done is win. In fact, in that top 4, 3 of those guys have 8 victories between them. That would be Edwards and Biffle with 3 and Kyle Busch with 2.
Boy, I like the way that 22 car looked through there. It stuck the bottom, rolled the middle of that corner.
Man, I tell you, I was thinking just what you said is a great catch, because whenever I see a car come off the corners and the left front wheel hooks the bottom of the track and turns that good, you got a car that can pass cars easy.
Here we go with 5th place. Justin Allgaier looking underneath Paul Menard. And there is Harvick trying to follow Allgaier. Can't do it. So move Allgaier up to 5th. Menard back to 6th. Harvick 7th.
Folks, they're going awful fast out there, no doubt about that, but these cars don't have near the horsepower that the Sprint Cup cars do. Because of that, they've got to run these corners so hard, and it can be so frustrating, Andy, behind a car, and you can't pass that car because you just don't have that acceleration because of the motor.
Especially on this kind of racetrack. These flat racetracks with, you know, with no banking to really catch the car and carry that momentum, it's very difficult to pass.
Harvick looking underneath the 98. Can he get it inside of him as they head down into 3? Yes, he's got him, and he clears. Let's go back to 19th. Clint Bowyer on the move as he's getting around Brian Scott. Scott has had some great runs. He doesn't have the results to show for it. Late in races, he's had either mechanicals or some crashes, and right behind him is Jason Leffler.
It's going to be interesting to see just how far up in here Clint Bowyer can take that 21 car. No practice. You know, he hasn't been in the car basically all year. So it's going to be, you know, good to watch, see how far he can take this thing.
Well, you know, John West-Townley's basically a brand new driver, a rookie driver, and that's tough on a race team to try to figure out if their cars are good or if they're not good. You know, just because the situation happened the way it did, you got to believe that the guys from Richard Childress Racing are loving Bowyer being in this car. It gives them a good snapshot of how good their equipment is.
All right, guys, we got our first start and park. The 92 of Dennis Setzer has taken it behind the wall. Let's get an update on Clint Bowyer, Jamie Little.
Well, I talked to him just a little while ago, Marty, and he told me he's actually been waiting and wanting to get in a nationwide car. He loves racing in this series, but he said, unfortunately, I didn't want it to happen this way. He really likes John West-Townley, says he's a great kid with a great family. He hopes to see him back in this car, but in the meantime, he's glad to be back with these guys, and he's really looking to put this car into victory lane and give back to this team.
And there's some fender damage on the right front corner.
Yeah, Rusty just picked it out. He saw some damage on that right front corner, and he may have to use that bumper a little bit to make his way up through there. So crew might have to work on that on the next stop.
So right now he's running in 19th. His next target is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Up front, it is Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, and Justin Allgaier after 13 of 200 laps here at Phoenix International Raceway. Back here at Phoenix, we're under our first caution for a spin by the 15 of Michael Annett at the Bashas Supermarkets 200. As there is the pace car leading Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, and Carl Edwards. And let's go back and, whoa, it does look like we're surprised at this. We were all speculating that nobody would come, and our race leader is coming in.
Yeah, he brings a few more in. Greg Biffle's coming in behind him. I think these guys are not real happy with the car, even though the 18's leading.
Right thing to do.
He may want an adjustment here. Also, you're hung out to dry when you make that pit stop.
Jamie, it's all yours.
Well, that was a last-minute decision. It surprised everybody. The guys hurried up, jumped over the wall, and you heard what Kyle said. Maybe this wasn't the right decision, but it's early in the race. He's made up a lot of space on the track. 4 tires here, no adjustments, Dave.
Greg Biffle comes to pit road. That car was a little bit tight. They're going to change 4 tires and send him back on his way. They made a chassis adjustment as well for Biffle.
And they are still working on this car as, boy, the 38, they can't seem to buy a break as power steering fluid is going. Shannon, what's going on?
Oh, well, that's exactly right. It is power steering fluid. He says that the steering has been locking up. The team has told me that they're actually going to try to come down twice. We'll see if that is the case. But Jason Leffler is having a problem with that steering. Not a great start because this team really needed a good race here this weekend. They're far back in the points and on probation. Guys?
And Biffle just now pulling back out onto the racetrack. So a car that was looking so good through practice and qualifying all of a sudden finds himself going to have to work his way from the back of the field. You see the damage on the left front corner. Stay with us. All right, we're getting ready to go back to green. We never did get to show you Michael Annett. He spun, did not hit the wall. That's what brought the caution out. The early pit stop surprised all of us. And back to racing now with Brad Keselowski on the outside, Carl Edwards inside.
And a little damage there.
A little contact.
And here we go 3 wide down that stretch. And who's going to give? Well, don't need to because Justin Allgaier gets past them all.
Tell you what, Andy, talking about right front fenders, I think that 60 car just got damaged on the right front, that incident right there. Looks like that fender, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little dent, not too bad, but those fenders are extremely important. It seems like more on a flat track than anywhere.
Well, I tell you, the flatter the track's good, the worse these cars push, and they need that downforce in the front. I'm going to keep my eyes on on Clint Bowyer's car in the back because he stayed out, and he's still got the fender damage.
While this battle continues, let's tell you who the lucky dog was. Getting the Aaron's lucky pass was Victor Gonzalez in the 05, so he got to come around and get back on the lead lap. That gives us a total right now of 39 cars on the lead lap. Gilliland and O'Quinn have taken their cars behind the wall to park them, and Michael Annett, as we told you with that spin, is 1 lap down. So that resets the back of the field. Look at what's going on here with Kyle Busch trying to come back after the pit stop where he freely admitted, oops, that may not have been the right move. He's got Clint Boyer right behind him, and they're trying to get around Michael McDowell and the 10 of Casey Mears.
He's just got to show a little patience right now. I mean, take it nice and easy getting through there, but trying to tell Kyle Busch to take it easy, he's probably not going to listen at all, knowing that guy.
Well, you saw how quickly he's already gotten back to 14th position, and here he goes past McDowell, so that moves him to 13th.
Yeah,
and
he looks like he just moved Casey Mears right there, or trying to.
You got the impression this might be with 20 laps to go instead of 80-plus laps, and he gets around Casey, so now he is working his way back towards the front. He's up to 12th.
You know, Marty, this is a good indication of how new tires are going to do, too. Kyle came in and put 4 new tires in that car only after 15 laps. Going to be real interesting, Andy, to watch his speeds to see if he's much quicker than the lead cars.
Yeah, it's one thing to be quicker, but the thing is that can he pass all these cars and get back to racing for the lead where he was before he made the pit stop? That's going to be the key.
I know one thing. Watching these 2 Penske cars this year has been absolutely amazing. There were people that when they found out they were the only 2 Dodges in the field, that wasn't going to be enough support. Well, they've gotten all the factory support, and look where they are. They've already won 1 race. They've sat on the pole twice, and Keslowski and Allgaier are running 1st and 2nd. Now there's Michael Annett. As we told you what brought out the first caution, his spin. Take a look and you'll see exactly what happens.
Now keep in mind, this is a backup car for Annett. He had a little incident in practice, and boy, he almost tore up another one right here.
Man, he did a good job. He stayed on the brakes right there, and that car never touched the wall at all. You bring it in, you put 4 tires, clean his pants out, and send him back out there. That's all you could do.
Or give him a set of Depends, whatever. Brad Keselowski, 1.2 seconds ahead of Justin Allgaier. He's opening up a bit of a gap, and then it's Joey Logano, Carl Edwards, and Kevin Harvick is now up to 5th. Now, let's move back a little bit further in the coverage and check in on the 27 car. That is Greg Biffle and Johnny Sauter right behind him. And here comes Biffle closing on McDowell. That would be for 16th. Now remember, Biffle had that damage on the left front corner, so he's trying to fight his way back to the front.
Yeah, I believe they did the right thing. Take a look at Kevin Harvick getting inside of Carl Edwards there. He's got the 33 working now. And I really think that this track is going to continue to change throughout the night.
So move Harvick up to 4th. Remember, he started 10th. Our pole sitter has now been sort of bumped back to 5th, and he's losing contact with Harvick. And look at Kyle Busch. He has now moved up to 8th position. He just cleared Stephen Wallace. His next target is Reed Sorensen right there in the Dollar General 32.
Yeah, he's not having any trouble passing these cars. And Rusty, like you said, I'm looking at the lap times. He's keeping pace with the leader while he's making these passes, so his car is really good.
So right now, the fastest car on the racetrack is that 18. And they've got the right combo. Can they get it back to the front? Stay with us to find out. He just passed for another position, moving to 7th. Under our second caution because of stalling, 21 car of Clint Boyer. More on that. Let's go to Shannon.
Well, Justin Allgaier says that the car is a little bit free on throttle. They're going to try to snug him up with some air pressure and a wedge. 4 tires. Jamie?
And his teammate Brad Keselowski, they're going to make a wedge adjustment. 4 tires. He wants to tear off. The bugs are getting bad for these guys tonight. Dave?
Sunoco fuel going in the 33 of Kevin Harvick. He wants an air pressure adjustment for his race car. They talked about wedge, but air pressure is a choice. Loose race car for Harvick. He'll take 4 tires and try to get off pit road, maintain his position. 22 goes by, and he has to back up. He is locked in his pit. He'll have to take more time to get out, guys.
And it's going to cost him a couple of positions. Oh, so important to get that car so you can get a clean exit. A nationwide insurance race off pit road. Keselowski stays the same. Edwards picks up 3. Logano drops 3. And Stephen Wallace picks up 4. Now, we mentioned the fact that the 21 of Clint Boyer, all of a sudden he reported on the radio the car just died on him. He's got it refired, but he is now 1 lap down in 40th position. All right, back here at Phoenix, there are no waiver rounds. The lights are out on the pace car. It is Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle, Brendan Gaughan is now third, Trevor Bayne is up to fourth, Jason Leffler rounds out your top five. Michael Annett gets the Aaron's lucky dog. That puts him back on the lead lap. We have a total of 38 cars on the lead lap. One lap down, Clint Boyer and Josh Wise. So that resets it for you. Pace car has pulled on to pit road, and it is the 18 of Kyle Busch choosing the inside line, bringing him down. The green flag flies, and we're racing again at Phoenix. Great restart for Kyle. Biffle trying to come right back underneath him as they head down towards 3. He's got the inside line, and he's going for the lead. Can he clear him? He's got to get out of it.
Wow, Kyle drove that car into the corner hard.
Boy, Kyle on these restarts is just fantastic on the outside of these racetracks. I mean, on these restarts, it seems like every week he does his same trick. Now, we just proved a little while ago the bottom side of the racetrack's better, but he knows he's got to make that top side work for at least 2 laps to get that track position back.
And he is running that car about a car length out in front now, and a little bit further back, Kevin Harvick. Remember, he got blocked in his pit stall. Look out, trying to go 3 wide was Scott Lagacy Jr. in the 43. Harvick has to check up for the slower traffic of Kenny Wallace. Here comes Reed Sorensen underneath the 28. He's got a problem with the 35, and he gets a nudge from behind from Lagacy.
Yeah, you got some people wanting to go and nowhere to go.
And Andy, this front straightaway here at this track, I'm telling you, it's one of the narrowest out there. I mean, these guys, when you go down it, you feel like you're going down a tube, man. There's no room on the outside. Take a look, 3 wide again down the back straightaway.
That's for 9th. Look out as you got Allgaier, Scott, Edwards, everybody. And it's Allgaier, and there goes Brian Scott running up the hill, and now he's going to drop like a rock about 3 spots.
Guys all got these fresh tires. Those cars stick like glue for about 6-8 laps, and they got to run them hard. Get everything you can out of them. Get all the passes you can, because after that, this aero push takes over, and it's hard to pass.
Just give you a quick update. Kevin LePage is our 4th car that's behind the wall and out of the race. While this action continues, that it's Tony Raines on the high side in the 34. Justin Allgaier going underneath him, followed by the 60 of Carl Edwards. And that is for position. Let's get an update on the 60. David.
And when they came into pit, they were loose into the corner and tight through the center of the corner. They made a wedge adjustment, and then they tugged down that right front fender a little bit to try to massage that just a little bit. You know how perfect those fenders want to be to get the perfect aerodynamic flow through the racetrack here. So they tried to do a little work on that and get Carl back out.
So Carl, right now, as he continues to try and move his car back forward, is 8th position. Stephen Wallace right there behind him. Justin Allgaier in 7th, right in front of him.
And we saw that 66 car gain spots on pit road, and he's got a good car too.
How about a battle for 3rd place right now? You got Brad Keslowski going underneath the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. And he takes the position. Remember, Gaughan last pitted on lap 17, Keslowski on lap 32, so he's got the fresher tires. And he is checking out on him. Nothing has changed up front. Kyle Busch leads by 0.8 of a second. There he goes. 2nd place, Greg Biffle, as he rallies back from that early damage. And Keslowski, Gaughan, and Trevor Bayne. There goes the Carl Edwards machine underneath the Allgaier. And now you've got Joey Logano right on the fender there, and they touch.
That moves Allgaier up the racetrack and opens the door for Stephen Wallace and Paul Menard.
Yeah, and then Menard looks like he's going to go door to door with him down into the corner. Still hanging on. Allgaier trying to limit the damage here, and it looks like he's going to hold on to the spot.
It's like Joe Logano got into the 12 car. Justin Allgaier just a little bit. Got him up the racetrack. And Andy, you got to believe that Allgaier was going, hey, man, what's up with that? I didn't do anything.
Did a good job of recovering, though, and maintaining the spot here.
Yeah, he did. He did a great job out there. This 12 car has just been solid all year long. And if I could look at any car in the field, I'd have to say this team, the 12 car of Penske and Justin Allgaier, it's like they flipped the switch, and all of a sudden, everything got better.
I'm just thinking it might have been adding the team of Brad Keselowski. Having 2 teams and somebody like Brad over there, I think that's really brought a lot to him. I think having those guys working together has really made both teams stronger.
You got a glimpse there of Jason Leffler trying to track down the man in front of him, Joey Logano. Battle for 2nd right now as Brad Keselowski and Greg Biffle going after each other, and Keselowski takes the spot. So Brad Keslowski has got himself a great race car tonight as he is moving towards the front, and he's actually running quicker than our race leader, Kyle Busch. Verizon Wireless customers, text Champion to 43776 for exclusive Champion chats.
Back at Phoenix and under the green, it's the NASCAR Nationwide Series tonight. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series running here. NASCAR Now pre-race edition, 10 a.m. Eastern, ESPN2. And we'll wrap it up on Monday with our NASCAR Now Roundtable at 7 Eastern, that on ESPN2. Drag racing, the O'Reilly NHRA Spring Nationals this weekend, qualifying tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern, finals Sunday at 8 Eastern on ESPN2. And then next weekend, it's on to Texas. And the fast mile and a half for the Nationwide Series on the air Saturday at 3 Eastern on ESPN2. That is our ESPN Motorsports calendar. So we're just past a quarter distance in tonight's race. Story has been one of a couple of twists of plot. Kyle Busch led the opening 17 laps of the race, pitted under the first caution, kicked him back to 24th in line. He charged toward the front, then under the second caution at lap 30. All the other guys who didn't stop on the first caution came in. Brad Keselowski led them off pit road. He restarted 10th. He is charged up to second, and we are now at lap 52, working 53. And a gap of 1.7 seconds between second place Keselowski and the leader, Kyle Busch. So as we are at that 1/4 point, let's get you up to speed on what some of the front runners are saying. Jamie, you've got the leader.
Well, that would be Kyle Busch. What an eventful night it has been in this short 53-lap stint so far tonight. He's in the same car that he wrecked here in the fall, but this team loved it so much they rebuilt it and brought it back and said it's their best short track car. Tonight it's been great. They just made a mistake perhaps early on and came in early, got off pit sequence and worked his way back up. It all played out and he's still your leader. Behind him, Brad Keselowski. He was so excited before he got in his race car. He said he has had a brand new race car at every track this year except one. That includes tonight. He said this car was so good, barely made any changes. He said this could be the one that gets us our first victory for Penske tonight. Dave?
Jamie, on that first caution, Greg Biffle pitted. Remember, he spent a long time on pit road. They were fixing the left front valence of that 27 car. You can see the red tape there discoloring the left front of that car just a little bit. They had a hole. They ran over something. They wanted to get that fixed to give Greg good aerodynamic flow here at Phoenix. Jamie?
Joey Logano behind him, a little loose. They made a track bar adjustment. He said the car is good now. He does have a little bit of a fender rub after getting together with that 12 car. Dave?
Guys, next in the order is the 60 of Carl Edwards. When they stopped on that stop, we talked about what they did to that race car to try to make it better. A little loose in the tight center of 3 and 4. Carl at this racetrack has been very, very good, and they believe that they might have the car to win today. Sitting on the pole was certainly an example of that. They'll try to work him back toward the front. Kevin Harvick has had the winning car most of the season, and on that last stop, they stayed out and were able to, actually they fixed a loose condition with air pressure on one of their stops. Kevin, of course, trying to win for the second week in a row here. The 66 of Stephen Wallace, he's staying in that race car. Even with that injured right foot right now, he's not been complaining about it. And so far, no expectation to put David Rudeman behind the wheel. Shannon?
Justin Allgaier looking like a veteran out there today. He started 7th in this race, been in the top 10 all race long. The car is free. The team is telling him just to hang on, that as the track tightens, the car will as well. There's lots of racing to go for this number 12 car. Dave?
Brendan Gaughan's going backwards a little bit right now. Car not to his liking, but this weekend, he and crew chief Brad Parrott were able to do some work on simple track maps like this. He told me part of the problem we've been having is our communication. I would describe the corner in several different ways than my crew chief was. And so when they started talking about that, they found even out some of their terminology was not the same. They got it corrected. So now, for instance, when he says, I'm a 4 loose, Brad Parrott knows exactly what that is. They're 32 of Reed Sorensen reporting that the left front is hopping in that race car going into turn 1. He's made the move from position 20 to position 10 since the restart. This car, very good, like we told you, before the start of tonight's race. Alan?
All right, David, thank you. So there are updates on the top 10 in the race at this point as we run, working the 59th lap of the 200. Now, remember the story about Clint Boyer, who earlier stopped on the racetrack at lap number 30 and brought out the second caution of the race. Boyer got the car fired up, got it going again. He has resumed competition, except that he's running a pretty good ways back in the field, 37th place, 1 lap down. Now, for more on what happened to that 21 car and what they did to fix it, let's swing over to our Craftsman Tech Garage and Tim Brewer. Tim?
Thanks, Alan. Hey, the batteries are not located under the hood of these cars. They're located right here in front of the left rear wheel. Some of the guys carry 2 batteries on the cars, and they have a switch down by the seat. The other guys, you have to switch the batteries manually. Take the battery out, reaffix the bracket here. But what Andy Petrie and I were talking about, this is the kill switch that we were talking about. When you kill the switch right here, you kill the power to the ignition system. Therefore, it's a safety deal. When it throws it down, you actually cut the ignition off in case of throttle sticks. But these are all precautions to keep NASCAR drivers safe. Alan?
All right, Tim, thanks. So Boyer's car back under power, and again, a lap down in 37th position. Kyle Busch leads Brad Keselowski by 2.1 seconds as we work the middle stages of tonight's 200-miler in the Valley of the Sun.
ABC is your destination for the Sunday Showcase. First up at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. The top 2 teams in the East go head-to-head as Dwight Howard and the Orlando Magic take on LeBron James and the Cavs. Then at 3:30 Eastern, it's the Lakers and Portland. NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern with GMC Sierra NBA Countdown. Let's reset things back here for you. Kyle Busch leads by 2.8 seconds over Bradley Keselowski. Joey Logano is 3rd. Greg Biffle and Kevin Harvick are 4th and 5th. And then it's Edwards, Allgaier, Sorensen, Steve Wallace, and Paul Menard rounding out your top 10. There's Harvick and the 27 of Biffle as they get around some of the lap traffic. We have a total now of 25 cars on the lead lap. They're going around the 83 of John Borneman right now.
Hey, Harvick's got a fast race car. I'm looking at his lap times, guys, and he is just plowing through this field right now. If you remember, on that last pit stop, he got blocked in. He had to put it in reverse and back up, and that really killed him a lot. His actual pit stop, Andy, was pretty good, though.
Yeah, his pit crew did a good job. They got him down off the jack, but they could not get out of the stall. You see a little smoke coming out of that 27 car there, Greg Biffle. Not sure if it's a little tire rub, maybe rubbing the racetrack or rubbing a fender.
Well, we might get a better view here as Harvick has cleared him. So now move Kevin up to the 4th position. So again, and the one thing we're noticing, take a look at the windshields. The tear-offs are getting covered with bugs. They've been a problem all day long, and now that we've got the lights on here, it's like a magnet for these things. And we even overheard Kyle Busch telling the guys, hey, every pit stop, you've got to tear that off. Let's get more on Kyle Busch. Jamie?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to mention. We're down here dodging the bugs too, Marty, and you're starting to hear a lot of the drivers talk about that. Kyle Busch weighed into his team and gave them instructions about that topic.
Next pit stop and all the pit stops tonight. Jackman needs to pull tear off. Rear carrier needs to grab the jack. These bugs are horrendous.
You can see it just a little bit on that shot of Kyle Busch as he continues to lead the field. He last stopped at lap 17, so that bug buildup is getting worse. Right now, his car is just a little tight in the center, Marty.
And you were saying, Mr. Wallace, during the break?
Yeah, I was kind of joking a little, but I said, I guess the good thing about leading is that you're leading. The bad thing is you're the first one to hit the bugs.
There you see Jason Radcliffe over on the right side as he is watching everything that goes on, taking a cool drink. And right now his driver's well in control, guys. 3.8 seconds. He's coming up on Tony Raines. And, I mean, we're down to 23 cars. That will make it now 21 cars on the lead lap once he gets around Tony.
Yeah, he's slicing through these cars and doing a good job of maintaining that lead that he has, even though he is passing a lot of lap cars.
Well, and remember last year here, he had problems in both races, but both times he managed to come back and get respectable finishes. Oh, we've got another problem with the 15 of Michael Annette, and the caution is out. So the second of our 3 cautions, for the second time in 3 cautions, Michael has brought it around.
Rattle it around. See if you can't pump it up. So you got to run back and see if they can make sure we got fluid and stuff. That's all smoking on the right front. Smoking on the right front.
Let's take it back to a moment ago.
Whoa. That thing just looks, you know what, Andy? It looks like he's lost his brakes getting at the corner.
Yeah, he could have. I've seen a lot of hot brakes out there. This is one of those tracks where you really lean on those brakes, especially those front ones.
I've been seeing a lot of hot brakes. Like you said, we're only 73 laps in this race, and the front rotors on a lot of these cars are really glowing.
This time, guys, not getting tired. Everybody's catching it. Just, Dan, you can put all your stuff down.
It's like brake fluid squirting on the hot rotors, right?
Yeah, they're going to spend some time fixing this. They'll have to get in there and get that wheel off, probably change the caliper on the right front.
Well, he was 34th when this all happened. And you can see that they're immediately going to work.
Get the hood up. Stop.
See, every time he pushes that brake pedal, there's the fire in there. That's the brake fluid burning on the hot rotor. See all of the fluid on the tire.
You know, a lot of the teams that are watching the broadcast need to tell their drivers about these brakes because it really messes them up.
And here comes race leader Kyle Busch as he is going to come down pit road leading the parade. And Jamie Little, he's coming your way.
And Brad Keselowski saying his car was just a little bit free early on. They may make a chassis adjustment. They were going to wait and see here. Take 4 tires, fill it up with Sunoco fuel. He's had a pretty quick race car. You see Kyle Busch there in the 18. You saw the tear off. They made sure they got that right away. 4 tires. They're going to go up 1 round on the track bar for Kyle Busch, Dave.
Well, let's see if Kevin Harvick can complete this stop and get out around Johnny Sauter. Not in his pit box yet. Kevin completing 4 tires. Sauter comes in now. Pulls ahead a little further this time. It looks like he'll be able to get out. Just air pressure adjustment a little out of the right front to help that 33 car turn. And he turns around the 23 this time.
So a clean pit stop for the 33. And let's check our race off pit road courtesy of Nationwide Insurance. Kyle Busch still first. Joey Logano picks up 1. Carl Edwards' crew gets him out again in good style, but Keselowski drops 2. Stay with us. We're coming back for more racing.
Move out of the way.
Oh, and the night has fallen and the bugs are winning the battle. Our lucky dog, though, on this one for Aaron's was the 34 of Tony Raines, so he is back on the lead lap. That gives us now a total of 26 cars on the lead lap, and there's Tony. It will be Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick. That's your top 5, and boy, look at the restart as Busch takes the high side this time, and Logano can't keep up. And look at Edwards, 3 wide. Harvick's underneath him. On the high side, Biffle goes around him.
These guys get bogged up in a restart on the exit of turn 2 and lets the guy in the bottom lane have a clear track. And Andy, we're seeing 3 wide coming on that back straightaway, getting into turn 3 for a couple laps, at least because of that.
Well, that's the time to strike while the iron's hot and these tires are good.
Let me update you as you look at this 3-wide battle. We had 5 waiver rounds. I'll get to that in a minute. Look at what's happening. James Buescher just cuts right in front of the 7 of Landon Castle. No contact. Leffler's got his hands full as that car's going sideways. And now Harvick's diving underneath the 27. Here comes Edwards trying to get back into the thick of things in that battle.
Now, we heard Harvick say before the race that it took a little while for his car to get going. It's going good right off the start right now.
Down that stretch, and here comes Carl. You can tell when they get on the brakes, the front of that car just dies, and we're still seeing that smoke out the right side of the 27.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, it could just be a tire rub on the top of the fender when it goes in the corner. You travel these things as far as they'll go.
Sounds like a crew chief. I'm not worried about it. I'm not driving it.
Well, he's seen it many, many times. He knows what these guys can get away with and what they can't. But, you know, if this was a Sprint Cup car, I'd say, hey, the splitter's hitting the ground.
Yeah, they don't have splitters on these cars, so they can grind those valences away, and it's not a bad thing for them to do that, but you don't want the tires rubbing. That can cause you some disruption in that chassis, and you don't want that happening, so that probably is causing him a little bit of problem.
Justin Allgaier and Steve Wallace just a moment ago. Let's take you back and show what was going on between those 2 drivers. On board with Steven.
Ooh, we're on the road there, it looks like.
You're behind him. There you go.
If you look there, though, Steve was crowded on that apron a little bit. Didn't look like Allgaier gave him a lot of room.
That's Brendan Gaughan right behind him.
There's one thing you have to look at in Steven's car, if it damaged that right front fender, because if that fender got knocked in, we talked earlier about it really kills the front downforce, and that'll make the car handle bad, and it looks like it is in to me.
All right, I never did get the waiver rounds in. We've had so much action. It was Mike Wallace, Jason Keller, Brian Keselowski, John Borderman, Michael McDowell, and Josh Wise. There, we finally got caught up on all that. 26 cars on the lead lap. Go to the battle for second place. Take a look at the 22 as he's going underneath Logano and Brad Keselowski. Right now, if you told me I had to pick one car I think I got to go with that 22 and maybe the 18 also.
I'm liking the 18. His car looks really good, but at least Keselowski has split up this group of Gibbs cars, these two cars of Gibbs that were dominating there. Gotten in between them, and he may have enough to run down Kyle Busch. Haven't seen it yet tonight, though.
All right, so there is second and third, and he's starting to open up just a little bit of ground, a little bit further back. There's Kevin Harvick. There goes Carl Edwards. And there is the 27 of Greg Biffle. And let's get an update from his pit. David?
With Rick Byers now, we're watching that smoke out of the right side. Rick, are you concerned about that, and you know what it is?
Not really. It's just a small tire rub. Just a small tire rub. The spotter's been seeing it for quite some time. And right now it's just tight. That's our main concern.
Did you work on it that last stop to try to relieve that?
No, we're just worried about the tightness right now. And he's really complaining about it a lot right now.
All right, that's a word from top of the 27 pit box, guys.
So as take a look at 11th place as we come back to more action on the track. That's Casey Mears going around Brendan Gaughan. And Jason Leffler trying to tuck up underneath the 62 if he can get close to it.
You know,
let's get more on Casey Mears. Shannon?
Well, guys, this is a one-race deal for Casey Mears in this number 10 car. The team was originally not going to race this race. However, they're out of the top 30 in points, so they really needed a driver to get in the car, race, and get a good finish. They had been talking to Casey Mears. He is here this weekend filling in for Denny Hamlin, or sitting on top of that pit box in case Denny Hamlin needs someone to fill in for him on the Cup side. So they said, Casey, why don't you come and drive this 10 car? He's doing a great job today. He started 19th, and he is having a great run, currently 11th.
Well, and right now, Todd Brown's number 10 is 31st in the points, so a good run here could put him back in the guaranteed starting spots. Looking at the battle right there with Justin Allgaier and the 27 of Greg Biffle, and right behind Biffle is Stephen Wallace. That's for 8th, 9th, and 10th on the racetrack. And that tire rub, I don't know, and that's starting to look a little worse.
No, I'm still not too worried about it.
Okay.
I'm just, just like Ricky Byers said, they're worried more about the car being tight. They want to try to get that adjusted out of it. That actually, the tire rub could be causing some of that, so that's still going to be really hard to change. If the car's traveling or over traveling and rubbing that right front, it's going to be hard to change that on a pit stop.
You know, I can understand the tire rubs kind of early in a run because the tire pressures you're running here are awful low. I mean, the left side pressure is about 10 pounds on the left front, about 11 pounds on the left rear, about 30 pounds down the right side, Andy. So especially the left side is awful soft until you get the pressures built up a little bit.
While this battle continues, as we get ready to head to break, let's remind you about the Verizon Wireless customers. You can text Champion to 43776. Exclusive Champion chats, content from our NASCAR Now Roundtable experts. 89 laps are in the books here at Phoenix. This was far from over. Welcome back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series here at Phoenix. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. And right now, Kyle Busch is in control by 0.7 of a second over Brad Keselowski. And we're about 20 minutes before the top of the hour. And let's talk about what's happened so far here at Phoenix International Raceway. Kyle Busch is our leader. We've only had 2 leaders. 79 laps Kyle has led, and Brad Keselowski led 15. We've seen a bit of a change in the points if it ended right now, although we've still got quite a few laps to go, but gives you an idea just how good the racing has been. 3 cautions so far, 2 of those, unfortunately, for Michael Annett, and he is out of the race. We've shown you the top 10 up to speed. Let's go a little bit deeper in the field and get caught up with 12th place, and that's Jason Leffler, and up first is Shannon Spake.
Well, it has absolutely been a busy day for Jason Leffler and this 38 team. They started the race lap 16. They had some problems with their steering, came down, put some power steering in that car. It is still sticking a little bit, but the team is telling me it's not getting much worse. He's also having problems with his brakes. The car is tight, so it is just a mess for Jason Leffler on the racetrack right now, trying to hold on to some track position. Jamie?
Behind him is Kelly Byers in the 88. Now, this car he's driving was driven at both Phoenix races last year by Brad Keselowski. It has an average finish of 3.9, so the team has high expectations, but it hasn't been so great for Kelly so far tonight. He's been a bit tight, and he's been hanging out back there. He started 16th, currently 14th, Dave.
Brendan Gaughan has dropped out of the top 10. He's been using that newfound communication with Brad Parrott to tell him on the last run, too tight. So they made a track bar and air pressure adjustment. Now he's telling him very specifically, too loose. Man, these cars are finicky. The 23 behind him of Johnny Sauter having a pretty decent run, except for the fact that they cannot get the tightness out of that race car. It was tight at the beginning of the day. They threw some stuff at it. It was still tight. They made some more changes. It's still tight. It will not turn around these corners the way that would make Johnny Sauter faster than he is right now. Shannon?
James Buescher running 16th on the racetrack right now. He was involved in that accident with Jason Leffler last week. Buescher admitted, hey, listen, I made a mistake. I was at fault. He said, sometimes on the racetrack, I'm going to get taught lessons by veterans. But it has been such a tough season for this guy. He has dropped 13 positions in the last 3 races. He has had DNFs, and after he got started so strong in Daytona, he says it's just been frustrating. Jamie?
And Brian Scott in the 11. He started 17th, and right now he's leading Rookie of the Year points. They're thinking about that every single race. Tonight, his car hasn't been great. He said he just needs more forward drive. He's really having to work that throttle to get this car to hook up tonight. Right now, he runs 17th. Shannon?
Landon Castle starting a 4-race deal for this number 7 car, trying to keep this car top 30 in points. I spoke with Landon today. He told me his biggest problem in the past has been that he wants to race every lap at 110%. Now, with the help of Tony Erie Jr. on top of that pit box, he says, I'm going to back it down. My goal is to go out there, finish the race, and get this car a good finishing position. Now, behind him on the racetrack is Michael McDowell, a hometown boy who had a great finish here last year. He finished 11th in this race in April. Michael McDowell started this race 11th. He's dropped back just a little bit, but he's currently holding on to the top 20. Jamie?
I love talking about these guys who are running every race, running in the back. Tony Raines in the 34 car. Long John Silver Chevrolet started 18th tonight. He's been tight in the center. They've been working on the car. Last stop, they made a track bar adjustment. 4 tires, put a rubber in the right rear, trying to get it to hook up just a little bit better, Dave.
Well, the nice stop going well for Trevor Bayne right now. He runs in 21st, and on that last pit stop, they actually stopped twice. On the first pit stop to try to get the car to turn a little bit better, they put a spring rubber in the right rear of the car. Tim Brewer showed you how to do that in Countdown today. Then on the second stop, they unhooked the rear bar. The problem is, he's gone nowhere. He restarted in 21st, he's still 21st. The 43 car, Scott Lagasse, has had a decent day, but he's been lacking grip. That's the main thing that he's been wanting. On the last stop, they took 4 tires again, made a track bar adjustment for Scott, but they were, better in qualifying and practice than they've been in the race. That's where they've really got to improve, Marty.
And those are all the cars that are on the lead lap. 23rd, Michael McDowell is in the lucky dog spot in 23rd right now, but we've got a lot of cars that are like 1 lap down, a total of about 10 of them so far. There's your top 5. We've passed the halfway mark. Kyle Busch has led 88 laps so far here at Phoenix. Let's get you caught up on the calendar for this weekend. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, it'll be on ESPN2, NASCAR Now, with the Monday Roundtable at 7 Eastern. And then the O'Reilly NHRA Spring Nationals qualifying tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern Time. The finals Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, both those on ESPN2. And then we'll be in Texas next Saturday, 3 Eastern, on ESPN2 with the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Back here at the Bashas Supermarkets 200, it is still Kyle Busch, the race leader, by 0.7 of a second. And the only thing that seems to be able to beat him down right now is the bugs, and the bugs are winning the battle with everybody. And I know you're probably wondering why, and the best explanation we've been able to dig up is they've had more rain here than that usually get, and that's the reason why we've had more bugs here than we've ever seen. And it has become a bit of an issue, as you can see the way the lights glare off of the windshield. They are getting whacked left and right.
Marty, when I got in town the other day, that's the first thing they said, that it's a Rusty. We just had tons of rain here out in Arizona. In fact, all the rivers that are around here that are usually dry, I've got a lot of water and flowing real hard. And because of that, I got to agree with you, man. We got a lot of bugs out here, and I've seen this in Bristol, Tennessee, places like that.
Well, and let's check in with Tim Brewer over in the Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim, what can they do?
Hey, what?
Oh, no, let's hold on. We got a crash. It'll be our 4th caution. The 01 of Mike Wallace is involved, and the 66 of Steven. Wallace, who is 8th in the driver's points, has been having a wonderful season so far for this team on a very limited budget, and there's the damage on the 66.
Yeah, Steven got the worst of this deal here. A lot of damage on the right side.
The car had the right front fender beat in about 2 inches from that damage with Justin Allgaier, and I got a feeling that part of that is the reason. We'll have to go back and look at the replay in a minute, but
let's go back and ride with Stephen Wallace.
Whoa, looks like he lost a tire right there.
Easy here, easy.
See that right front went down right before he went in.
Here.
I was a little concerned about that with that damage in the right front.
Right side damage, pretty heavy.
Mike just a victim right there.
Low,
Here's the outside view.
Hear the tire blow, see the sparks.
No track mark.
So for the third race in a row, after a great start to the season for Steven, where he was finishing consistently in the top 10, now another tough break here, and here come the race leaders. Joey Logano right on the back bumper of the 18 of our leader, Kyle Busch. And Jamie, I guess it's going to start with you again with Joey Logano.
And the 20 car, Joey Logano, staying steady in that second place position. Expecting 4 tires, fill it up with Sunoco fuel. Let's see if they put the wrench in the back. Yes, and you see it going the right there. Gonna make a chassis adjustment. Try to tighten that car up just a bit. And the 18, his teammate Kyle Busch is in his pit box. You see him there. Now he's explaining all kinds of things that's going on with his car, but to sum it up, he needs more grip. Dave?
Harvick's car cut just a little bit too well, so they're going to put air pressure in the back, in the right front that they took out before. He's already gone, 4 tires changed. As for Carl Edwards, he is on pit road as well. They're going to make a track bar and air pressure adjustment for a race car that is loose. See ya, Carl.
And our Nationwide Insurance race off pit road. Kyle Busch again comes in first, goes out first. Keslowski picks up a spot while Logano loses one. Paul Menard picks up 2. And we'll talk about the significance of what this means with 87 laps to go when we come back. Under our 4th caution here, and it gives us time to talk about the ticket to the race. Just log on to NASCAR.com/tickets. We're heading for Texas Motor Speedway next week, and then down to Talladega and on to Richmond, Darlington, Dover, Charlotte, all the way through the month of June. New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and we hope to see you at one of those races. And remember, Clint Boyer got himself a lap down because of the battery. He had to switch it over from one to the other. Well, he has got the Aaron's Lucky Dog, and he gets back on the lead lap. That gives us 22 cars on the lead lap. Let's check in with our in-race reporter, Kevin Harvick.
Hey, Kevin, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
10-4, Rusty.
Boy, Kevin, everybody's complaining about vision out there because of all these problems with the bugs. Are you having an issue with it?
It hasn't been too bad for me. They've been going ahead and letting us tear the tear-offs off. So our Jimmy Johnson Chevrolet hadn't been too bad to see out of.
Hey, has the track changed a lot, Kevin, from when you started to the darkness right now? Has it changed the balance a lot?
Yeah, we started loose. The second run, we were really good. The last run, we were back to loose. So hopefully we can get it back to how we were the second run. And when it's loose, I just can't hustle the car like I need to make the good lap time.
Kevin, we're not seeing too many people work the top side of the racetrack too much. Is just not enough grip up there yet?
Oh, man, you know me. I'm not going to get too far away from that yellow line. So, you know, it looks like there's some rubber up there, but I'm not venturing up there.
All right, buddy, you're doing great out there, man. Running 5th. You're having a great race. Have a good one. Thanks for talking to us.
All right, guys. Thank you.
So as we're still under the yellow, and there is the 66 of Stephen Wallace. He was 16th at the time of the incident, and we think we figured out what happened in this deal. Let's go back and watch the right front of Stephen's car. You saw the sparks. Andy?
Oh, yeah, definitely a right front tire went down, and like Rusty said, there was some contact earlier with Justin Allgaier when they were racing hard off that same corner. And it was quite a few laps, but it finally looked like it took its toll and went down.
Side, inside. He's got 2 other cars right behind him.
And there's the end result. So we've got the 4 waiver rounds for you this time. It'll be Kenny Wallace, Michael McDowell, Brian Keslowski, and Jason Keller. So as I said, that gives us 22 total cars on the lead lap. And it'll be Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, first and second. Then Joey Logano, Paul Menard, Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards in row 3, Allgaier, Sorensen, Biffle, Byers. That is your top 10. as pace car pulls down onto pit road. And again, our race leader, Kyle Busch, takes the outside lane. He's led 102 laps, so he secured the bonus points for leading the most laps. And he gets a great restart again, but Keslowski trying to stay right with him.
Keslowski drives the car in the corner hard, but it looks like Kyle's going to get him cleared off turn 2.
Joey Logano right behind him in third. A little too wide action further back, and Kevin Harvick, true to his word, he's hugging the yellow line, forcing Carl on the high side. Justin Allgaier there with a 32 side by side. There you see those 4 cars. And Edwards manages to pull ahead of Harvick. Then Kevin dives right back down underneath him. We got some great early action here on this restart.
Looks like Edwards is making that upper groove work.
And Carl finally gets a little breathing room.
It's like they make the top side work just a little bit. That's the reason I asked Kevin. And, you know, he's scared to go up top. There's a lot of rubber buildup up there. And if you get that stuff, you're going to get it on your tires and hit the wall, man. And that's what you don't want to do.
The view on board, as you can see right up in front of all the action. And there is Brendan Gaughan. He's going to try and go 3 wide. He loves the high line. Brian Scott in the 11, the 38 of Jason Leffler. And it looks like the 62's going to get up there and get the position. Here comes Casey Mears as well. Meanwhile, the battle back a little further forward. You've got Reed Sorensen in the 32 just hanging on as Justin Allgaier's all over him. On the left side of your screen, side by side down into turn number 1. The team cars going after each other. Casey Mears and Jason Leffler.
I think Casey's giving that car a good ride. Those Braun Racing cars are pretty identical. The 38, the 10, the 32. They all come out of the same shop. The engines are the same. And this is a good ride for Casey to get in after he got pulled out of that Richard Childress car from last year because of no funding.
Right now, Leffler gets a little more space on that 10, and he keeps it. And here we go again with Allgaier going underneath Reed Sorensen. So this battle continues, and Allgaier takes over 7th spot. It's allowed Biffle to tuck in and get into this mix as well. Let's get an update on him from Justin Allgaier's pit. Shannon?
The 12 cars started off loose today, and they've gone a little bit too far on their adjustments. It's now tight. They came down pit road, went back on the wedge adjustment, but he is already conserving fuel. His crew chief told him, we are 2 laps short. Save me all you got. Dave.
Reed Sorensen told me today that his car always takes a few laps to come in. They're great after about 10. They ran their fastest laps around lap 20. So we'll see if he can reel back in Justin Allgaier and the guys in front of him. The last stop, they were tight off the corner. They reversed an earlier air pressure adjustment, popped a spring rubber in the right rear to help that car turn.
Well, and you heard Shannon mention fuel. That was what was so significant about this last caution. It puts everybody within the outside limit of fuel strategy if they want to try and save and go the distance if they think this will stay green.
Well, some inside the window, some outside the window. And don't forget about what we talked about earlier is this race comes down to green-white checkers a lot of times. And, you know, that's one concern the teams will have as well.
We've had 7 of them. Remember earlier we were talking about the 2 best cars, and I thought it was Keslowski, and you guys were talking about the 18 car, and there they are running 1st and 2nd. A little further back, James Buscher's got his hands full with Scott Lagacy, and that is for position. That's for 15th. And Johnny Sauter wants to get into that mix as well. And Trevor Bayne.
Tell you, this has been a good run for Scott Lagacy. Qualified this car in the top 10.
Check out Boyer.
Strong. Yeah, look at Boyer. 3 wide in the bottom.
He got that lap back now. He's going to work.
Man, we got action in this group, 2 different sections of it, right at the front of that pack. Look at Boyer going all the way down on the apron. The Lagacy still holds on to the spot. And Buscher up against the wall with 23 of Sauter underneath him.
Well, you got to know that Clint Boyer's like, hey, man, I got my lap back, and this is kind of fun. I'm back in the game right now. I know when you're a lap down, you're thinking, man, this is terrible. But he got it back, and he's doing good now. Switch that battery over. If you're just tuning in, he lost a battery, went back to number 2, and got better.
And Biffle, and now we've got a caution on the racetrack as Biffle had just cleared Reed Sorensen. And that was for 8th. And, oh, Mike Bliss. Boy, has he had a rough weekend.
Both ends.
did not make the field for tomorrow's Sprint Cup race, one of 4 cars that did not qualify. And now here at lap 129, he has just banged that thing hard into the wall.
And he's knocked both ends of that car off. See all the water running out of it? Man.
So our 5th caution. Let's give you an idea of what happened to him. Take a look as he's out of the car and is okay. Oh, he got help.
Ooh.
I mean, that happened on the straightaway. That wasn't even in the corner of turn 4, so he got a little help somewhere from somebody.
Trying to see what car was behind him. Did not pick up the number.
NASCAR officials there telling him, and he has to still go to the infield care center.
For Mike Bliss, it's been a rough 2010. His only top 10 so far this year was 8th back at Bristol. 4 finishes of 27th or worse. Now, pit road is closed, and you can see the reason why they're bringing him down pit road to be able to clean up the mess on the front straightaway. So while they clean up, we'll step aside for a moment, and we'll go on board with Mike Wallace and see if we can see what happened here. That's Josh Wise in the 61. Oh, yeah. Oh. Stay with us. We're coming back.
Back at Phoenix, still under caution, so let's take a minute and catch up on what's happened with our 5-hour Energy Rapid recap. First caution came out when Mike Lynette spun the 15-car round at lap number 15. That brought about a little pit stop sequence exchange. Kyle Busch had led all the laps to that point, but he went to pit road. Not a lot of the other front runners did. Shuffled Kyle all the way back to 24th spot. Then about 15 laps later, caution came out when Clint Boyer's car lost power, that 21 machine. Boyer, bringing out the yellow, brought all the other front runners to pit road and shuffled Kyle Busch all the way back to the front of the pack. By the way, Boyer is now back on the lead lap. Keslowski came back from 10th position, where he led the field off pit road on that second exchange of stops, up to 2nd place. He's been the closest challenger to Kyle Busch so far, it appears, on the track. But Kyle has led 116 of the 131 laps we've run so far and has dominated the night so far. That is your 5-hour Energy Rapid recap as we have 69 laps to go here in Phoenix. Under caution for the 5th time, lengthy cleanup after Mike Bliss got crashed out on the front straightaway. Lots of oil, liquid, things to be cleaned up, and so they're using the pit lane to run the cars down through while the safety workers are operating on the front stretch, so no pit stops have happened as of this point. ABC's your NBA destination for the Sunday Showcase. 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific Sunday. Top 2 in the East go head-to-head. It's Orlando and Cleveland, followed by Los Angeles and Portland in the second half of the doubleheader. Coverage starts at 12:30 Eastern with GMC Sierra NBA Countdown.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series here at Phoenix, and make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. We're still under our 5th caution for the crash involving Mike Bliss. In fact, Shannon has caught up with him.
Well, it was a tough night for Mike Bliss. You guys started 39th, had moved your way to 22nd. What happened out there?
We made a bad adjustment there and really freed the car up way too much. And I was going backwards. I was real loose, and I don't know. I guess I moved up and somebody was there on the outside. The spotters can't see on the outside. As a driver, you know that's a problem here, so you don't really want to do anything like that. And I guess I got caught on the right rear, but we just really screwed up on an adjustment and put us back there. But it sucks.
A tough night for Mike Bliss. We hear a lot of drivers saying that, really chasing the racetrack tonight, Marty.
He turned 45 last Monday. He won the truck race here back in 1998. And it's just a long walk back to the hauler now as we head to commercial break. The pace cars pull down pit road here at the Bashas Supermarket 200. It is Kyle Busch again on the high side as we go back to green. And just what you had talked about in our pre-race, Rusty, a huge 4, 5, 6, 7 car pileup right on the front straightaway. And you said it at the beginning of the broadcast, this happens more times than we care to think about.
It always happens. I mean, you can pretty well count every race. They're going to get excited and they're going to crash about 50 miles an hour, Randy.
I don't know what it is. It's just a pattern at this racetrack. It just happens all the time.
All right, you see the damage on the 38 of Jason Leffler. There's the 73 also involved in this mess. of Derek Cope.
We're hurt bad.
And we're going to get a red flag situation here, and Trevor Bayne involved in this as well. I also noticed, I thought I saw the 16 of Colin Brown, so another tough break for that team as they're trying. There is Landon Castle. He was trying to follow up the 2 great runs that Scott Wimmer gave this 7 car. That's not going to happen. And it looks like Casey Mears also involved in this, as now this puts the 10 car in jeopardy as far as not being able to get back into the top 30 and have a guaranteed spot when we go to Texas next week. He is 31st right now.
Definitely killed their chance. Look at James Buescher. This is another week of a destroyed car. Of none of these guys are making it. It's just these guys being anxious on these restarts, slowing down, anticipating the start, and just taking off. And the guy in front of him doesn't take off, and stuff like this happens.
All right,
let's take a look at some replays.
See, I was watching the leaders right here because you see the 22 car now. He's not the leader. Kyle Busch is the leader. You see Kyle actually stumbles quite a bit, and the 22 car gets the lead across the line, which is really not, he's not supposed to do, but that stacks the whole field up behind him.
Yeah, it looks like Kyle got out of the throttle a little bit right there, and it just let them all to start piling up behind him. It's not that it's Kyle's fault. He saw the car on the inside take off. Let's take it back. Listen back in the back here. Oh.
Look at everybody getting jacked up.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that.
11 slowed down. The 10, Casey Mears hit him. Buescher hit him.
16. Look at Tony Raines sneak on through. What a great move by Tony to keep his car out of the mess.
Looks like
Here's another view.
Clint Boyer drove up underneath the drive shaft of James Buescher right here, the 1 car. You see him just start stacking. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, about from the 88 car, Kelly Byers back. That's where this whole thing happened. You see Clint Boyer involved in it. That's a lot of cars.
Let's go on board with Landon Castle. Just listen.
They have wiped out about 10 cars still in 2nd gear. Barely moving, this happens.
On board the 99.
Taking up.
I'll tell you what, if I was those Cup guys sitting down in those motorhomes tonight, I'd take note of this for tomorrow and learn from it.
You can just see the accordion effect, and boy, Buescher really gets jacked up by the 21.
I think you really need to look at the very front of the field and see why Kyle Busch didn't go, or what happened on the start, because that's what caused this wreck.
Yeah, you see, he just didn't move, and it just went all the way back. It's like a traffic jam in L.A., man. The guy in the front stops, and they all pay for it behind him.
And the problem is, because it's not a D-shaped oval where we have that nice big infield area where people can go diving for cover, you've got that inside wall, and here's what happens.
You see the green flag comes out. The 18 car doesn't take off right away.
And one thing to remember, too, guys, like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, it's a long front straightaway, real narrow, and these drivers do not have good vision ahead of them on restarts as they're coming through the gears.
All right, so there's going to be a lot of cleanup as we head to a commercial. We'll go on board with Landon Castle one more time on this multi-car mess on the front stretch here with 64 laps to go at Phoenix.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Phoenix is brought to you by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And Verizon. Get the inside track from Penske Racing with race analysis from our drivers. Plus highlights and high-speed action all on VCast. And only from Verizon. Text RACE to 66402 now.
Okay, we are under a red flag situation here at Phoenix International Raceway after a multi-car front stretch crash. And we've been looking at the replay action, and the race leader, 18, Kyle Busch, is supposed to be the first across the start-finish line. But there are 2 lines in this zone, and let's go back and go through this, Andy. Take us through.
Okay, Marty, this is the restart zone. It starts right here. This is a double line on the wall, and it starts right there. That's where you can go. Now, if you don't go in this zone, now this is where you have to go, this line here. If you don't go in between those 2 lines, the starter, the flagman, is going to go ahead and throw the green flag, and the race is going to start. Kyle Busch did not go between those 2 lines, and that's what caused this pileup.
Now, the big question is, was there gamesmanship there? Was he trying to get – because Keslowski's
I can't get in his head right here, but I know that these 2 have been racing each other all night long. And, this is a case where, if Brad Keslowski beats him to the line and he gets the lead going in turn 1, they can black flag the 22.
All right, let's go on board with Carl Edwards. He is right behind this. Let's listen.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Pretty obvious right there.
Got a big wreck behind you. Yellow is out. Got a big wreck behind you.
Big is understating. 12 cars. Now, let's listen to what Kyle said about it on the radio.
So what happens when the number 1 starter beats the number 2 starter to the line? Vice versa. Number 2 beats number 1.
It's going to be one of those deals where they're going to say, well, if he gives it back to you, you know.
They make a big deal out of it every driver's meeting, so I thought it was a black flag, but because caution came out, they're going to let it slide.
Well, we've not heard any ruling from NASCAR that there was a rules violation, and we'll wait to see if there is anything. Let's get a comment from down on pit road, Jamie.
Well, Jason Ratcliffe is the crew chief for Kyle Busch. You sitting here watching all the replays with us. What do you think of that restart? What happened there?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what we need to do to this car to win the race. But, it looked like that the 22 was anticipating Kyle going, and he wanted to get a good run and beat him down in the turn 1. And Kyle just didn't go, but he didn't have to go. I mean, he wasn't to the stripe yet, the single stripe, and the flag hadn't flown. But I think when he went, everybody kind of went off of him, and that's what caused him to stack up there. So we'll see.
All right, so what do you think? Once we go green here, you guys good to go to the end?
Yes.
Is the car good enough to get to victory lane?
I think so. Right now we're a little free, which I think is good for the long run. Just means we should be a little better later. But the 22 is good. The 20 is good. There's a lot of good race cars out there, so we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, thanks, Jason. Shannon?
Well, Trevor Bayne right in the middle of all that mess on the racetrack. Rusty Wallace said it's a lot like LA traffic. You just have nowhere to go.
Exactly. I mean, I felt like I was in a super speedway race there for a second. There's cars everywhere, and then you just see them piling up, and Brett Griffin came over the radio, and he's like, check up. So I slowed down, and people behind me, I guess they couldn't see it all happening because they were, we had just pitted, and we had been moved to the back, so they were trying to dig up through there, and they got into us, pushed us right into us. But, we've been working on this thing hard all day, trying to get it dialed in. It was awesome in practice, and for some reason, it just had a different attitude to start the race. So we had been working on it. Came in to try to short pit a little bit to get our fresh tires for the end and get some track position because that's so important. And then we just got pushed into that mess. So not much you can do about it, but we'll see if we can't get this Aaron's Dream Machine back out on the track here.
Yeah, and you can see those guys are hard at work at that 99. Get out and get as many points as they can for Bayne.
And we have just gone from a red flag condition to a yellow condition. They've refired the engine, so about a 10-minute red flag. And we'll come back and reset it for you. Pits are closed as of right now. It has been an eventful evening, to say the least, as we are now back under a yellow condition after about a 10-minute red flag situation. And the cleanup crew is finishing up. Pit road is open, so we'll see if there are any takers. We've got 62 laps to go. Now, the reason Jason Ratcliffe is up on the tire and talking to the NASCAR officials, because you'll notice the race leader is now Brad Keslowski.
Yeah, he was the leader when the caution came out. That green flag, like I said, came out when Kyle did not go between those zones, or those lines in that restart zone, which made it legal.
Jamie, you've got more?
Well, you guys, we played the radio of Kyle Busch talking about that every driver's meeting, they talk about that exact same thing, how to restart and what not to do. That is why Jason Ratcliffe is fired up. He's down here pleading with the NASCAR officials, saying it is not right that Brad Keselowski passed us and now they gave him a spot. And it's exactly what you guys are talking about. So he's still arguing the point here.
Well, and we can update you at 13 total cars. There you see Clint Boyer. He is one of those 13 that were involved in this crash. We saw Brian Scott damage on his car after we went back to the yellow. There's Reed Sorensen. He was a taker. There's Brian. The front nose is bashed in pretty good on that 11 car. So 13 total cars involved in this. There's a better view of getting your nose punched in.
And you see the nose of this car right there. It looks like it's really hurting for airflow. That nose is so flat. I've seen a lot of cars before really overheating because of this.
Well, we've got an opportunity. Let's see if we can check in on our in-race reporter, Kevin Harvick.
Kevin, Rusty, ESPN, you got us?
Heck yeah, man.
Looks like they slowed down and tried to anticipate a restart, Kevin, and just crashed the field in second gear. Did you see any of this in your mirror?
Well, I knew that was probably going to happen at some point today. I think I heard you talking about it earlier. That's pretty normal here for Phoenix, you know, because the guys in the back of the field can't see the guys in the front, and Kyle waited till the end of the zone that time, and everybody had anticipated him going like he had earlier. So that's pretty normal here.
Kevin, how's that car of yours handling right now? It's getting much cooler out right now.
We actually pushed the front tires that last restart, and it started to come around. It just takes my car about 10 laps to get going, so we'll see what happens here.
From what you feel like right now, buddy, got a strong enough car to win this thing?
I think if it all plays out right, I'd like for us not to pit again. If it plays out into a long run, I think we got a chance.
All right, Kevin, thanks for talking to us.
All right, we're showing 60 laps to go. What we're going to do is take our last commercial break. That's right. When we come back, we'll take you all the way home to see who's going to win this race. The discussion is still going on in the 18 pit.
Let's take a look at our NASCAR calendar, because NASCAR Now is on the air tomorrow morning on ESPN2 at 10 a.m. Eastern, and then the Monday Roundtable at 7 o'clock Eastern. And we've got drag racing action from the O'Reilly NHRA Spring Nationals, qualifying tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern, final Sunday at 8 Eastern, both on ESPN2. And our next stop, the fireworks will continue Saturday afternoon, 3 Eastern on ESPN2 from the Great American Raceway in Texas. All right, back here under this caution now, our 6th, after a 10-minute red flag. Let's take another look at the restart, because Vice President Competition Robin Pemberton has stopped by our booth and explained exactly what you were saying before.
Yeah, right here, Kyle Busch is the leader, and he controls the restart as long as he goes in between those two lines on the wall. Okay, he doesn't go, doesn't go, doesn't go. Now the green flag comes out. Now, Brad Keselowski is legal to go, and the race has started, and that's why they've placed him as the leader here when this caution did come out.
And that's exactly what Robin stopped by to explain to us, and so that is why the 22 is in front. Let's check in on the 22 radio.
So, Joey, I'm just rewinding back in my head on this situation to Texas Cup race. I think the same happened with Kyle and Kurt. And Kurt did what I did, and it was okay. Does this mean that I'm right on this situation?
I would say we could discuss it after the race, but it's my understanding is another direction. I'll leave it at that. You're the leader right now.
And he is the leader. It's Keselowski, Busch, Logano, Edwards, Harvick, Menard. That's your top 6. Now, these two are going to start side by side. What's going to happen this time?
Okay, they've swapped. Now, you see the 22 car, Brad Keselowski, has chosen the outside lane. Now, he will control the start. As long as he goes in that zone, he will have to beat the 18 to the line, or the 18 could get black flag. So that's what you're going to see. And he'll have a little advantage getting into turn 1.
NASCAR has just gotten on the radio to all drivers saying, hey, fellas, let's try a nice, smooth restart here. We're going to have 56 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing.
Marty, this is one of the racetracks you do not, if you're the lead cars, I don't care if you're inside or outside, you don't want to bog the field down. If you do that, you're going to have this big crash that you've been seeing. I mean, Kyle, yeah, he's leading the race. He didn't go, but, man, he should have went. If he would have known what was going to happen behind him, he'd have picked that throttle up and tried to race that 22 and didn't do it.
All right. Pace car is on pit road. Keselowski brings him down. He's a few inches ahead, and all of a sudden, here goes the 18. Now, did he jump too soon?
Well, it looks to me like he did, but I'd have to look at it and see on those hash marks on the wall, but it looked to me like he did go before the green flag came out.
NASCAR is taking a look at it. We'll let you know what they decide. It is Keselowski behind Busch. Then the battle for third with Carl Edwards side by side with Joey Logano down into 3. And behind them, 2 more cars trying to go after each other. Harvick underneath the 32, or the 98 of Menard.
Well, you can really see Brad Keselowski's car's working really good on the bottom of that racetrack under the line. He did not like getting beat on that restart by Busch, and he's trying to get underneath him. He's not going to do nothing on the outside. He's going to have to do it on the bottom.
It
Colorado getting to the first line.
Yeah, they are going to post the 18 car, and they're going to put his name or his number up on the board and put the black flag
they're
on.
posting us right here.
All right, let's listen in, see what happens on the radio. All right, Kyle tucks back in, lets him go around.
Okay, the rule is if he does that immediately, then he won't get the black flag. I'm not sure how they'll view that as far as giving that spot back.
Well, it's allowed Keslowski to open up about a 5-car length lead.
Now, he's still going to get the black flag.
All right, let's take a look at this again.
From this angle, we can't see those lines on the wall. But it looks like Brad was within those lines, and looks like 18 did jump a little bit.
The problem we got right here, Andy, is that Kyle Busch has took this from one extreme to the other, from not going at all to going way too early.
Well, it could be the anger factor. You know, we'll just have to wait and see if we get a chance to talk to him. And they're saying that the 18 has to do a pass-through pit road.
Okay, that's the rule. If this happened,
we got to come this time, or
if Kyle went into turn 1 and let the 22 car back by, gives a spot back, then he's okay. They won't black flag him, but he didn't do it immediately, and that's the key thing here.
All right, man, just bring it.
Well, you heard Jason say, just bring it. So the 18 has got to do a pass through. Now, he has led 124 laps here. Here he comes. Driver leading the most laps has won 9 of the last 10. And listen to the crowd.
Pass through.
Now, you think you've seen Kyle Busch mad after a race before? Wait till he gets out of the car after this one. This cat is flat going to be mad.
Yeah, he arguably had the best car in the car to beat tonight and gave it away.
45 miles an hour, and it is going to cost him dearly. And you're right, Rusty. It's going to be an interesting interview if we get a chance to talk to him. So now let's reset it for you. Brad Keselowski has a 1.2-second lead over Carl Edwards. Edwards has got his hands full with Joey Logano in third.
Yeah, going back to this 18 car, we talked about in the pre-race show how Kyle Busch has been able to come back at this track. There's still 50 laps left. He can still come back from this penalty.
He is the last car on the lead lap, 16.6 seconds behind right now in 19th position. Battle for 10th. You've got Lagacy on the high side, the 34 of Tony Raines. Here comes Reed Sorensen getting into the mix as well. So again, we've got good action going deep into the field here.
Now, you saw this 32 car, Reed Sorensen in Nashville, finished second. He's really drove the wheels off that 32 car. Look at Justin Allgaier inside past Menard.
And that's for 5th as Allgaier takes over the spot from Menard. So again, the Penske Dodge is having a great night, right, running 1st and 5th. 2nd place, Joey Logano looking underneath our pole sitter, Carl Edwards. Carl saying, I'm not ready to give the spot up yet.
You got to remember, this track is getting much cooler, and Joey Logano's car, to me, is getting better and better. And it looks like Carl Edwards' car is actually going off just a little bit. So this next pit stop, they're going to have to make some adjustments on that 60 to get it back going.
48 laps to go here. Still time for Kyle Busch to get back into it, especially if we have another caution. Let's get more on Carl Edwards, Dave Burns.
Now, obviously, the 60 car isn't bad because it's running up front the way it is, but a little free. And Rusty, I wonder if you could just describe when the car's not exactly like you like it, exactly like the way you like to race it, how a little free can be such a bad thing.
Oh, a little free is really a bad thing, especially going into turn 3 right here at Phoenix. This is a track where you're actually turning while you're still going straight. There's no banking to hold you, and that'll really make the car really upset going at turn 3. Now, if you drive down into turn 1 side by side like they're doing right now, that is a tough thing to hold on to.
And it's allowing Kevin Harvick to draw a little closer. You see Kevin in the 33 sort of sneaking into the frame. There he is.
And you see a 20 car's got the clean air right now, Joey Logano. He should check out.
That's one thing I've liked about Tony, this is Tony Raines now getting passed by the 32 car, Reed Sorensen.
And that is for 10th place, Dave.
And just want to remind you guys, he was one of the cars that came down and put on 4 sticker tires, fresh tires, as he can't quite make the pass on Raines. And so that car has a lot of grip right now. They put the track bar down just a little bit, made a wedge adjustment because it was so loose again. He couldn't drive it, and now he's working his way back up through.
And remember, Tony Raines got the lucky dog 3 cautions ago, and he has taken good advantage of it running here in this battle with the 32 of Reed Sorensen. Sorensen and Brian Vickers have shared this ride, and between the two of them, this car has been in the top 10 in all 5 races. Only 2 other drivers have done that same routine, Carl Edwards and Justin Allgaier.
Tell you what, Tony Raines is wheeling this baby. I'm looking at his lap times. He's running 10th. That's a good run for Tony. I mean, Reed Sorensen's got a heck of a Toyota behind him and just can't seem to get around him. Pretty impressed with Tony Raines right now.
Taking advantage. Like we said, there was his low point of the race, 33rd. And right now, looking for a top 10 finish for the Long John Silver's 34. Kelly Byers is right in front of these guys, and that is for 9th position. And just a little bit further up is Brendan Gaughan in the 62. And here goes Reed Sorensen ducking underneath and does get the position. So bump Raines out of the top 10.
Well, you see Reed just sailed that thing down in the corner and just let the car drift up a little bit, got that position.
Not missing anything up front. Brad Keslowski leads by 2.6 seconds. Give you a verbal update on Kyle Busch as well. He's 18th, 19 seconds back. He's going to need a caution to get back into this, I think.
Yeah, he'll need one pretty quick, too, because these laps are ticking away pretty fast.
We're down to 42 to go. Let's get an update on the 20 at Joey Logano. Jamie?
Well, he's keeping hope alive for Joe Gibbs Racing right now. The car started out loose. That's been the trend all night for the first couple of laps, and then it does nothing but get better. He is thrilled with this car right now. He's searching for his first win of the year, and he has his sights set on the 22 right now. Keep your eye on Joey Logano.
Well, and coming into the race, he had led more laps as we look at 3rd place with Harvick going underneath the 60 of Carl Edwards. To finish that Logano story, he has led more laps coming into this race than any other driver, and he has yet to win. So it's a big night for him. He wants to try and finish that deal. And right now, Kevin Harvick trying to get back to the front to maybe get victory number 3 this year.
Well, it looks like Carl Edwards is committed to the top of this racetrack. He left that door wide open for Kevin Harvick to go to the bottom. Looks like Harvick got him now.
And give Harvick the position now, so move him to 3rd. He's 4.4 seconds behind the race leader. They go around the wounded 99 of Trevor Bayne. Carl now on the low side, trying to tuck underneath Kevin. Remember, Kevin says he wants to run as close to that yellow line as possible.
Yeah, he doesn't like the top of the racetrack. You know, you think of some of the greatest drivers out there. The first one that comes to mind is Jimmy Johnson. This guy, 4-time champion. I call him a bottom feeder. He's always at the bottom of the racetrack. And you know what? He's comfortable down there, and he's getting it done. And just like Kevin Harvick is, I don't need to go to the top of that track. I like the bottom, man.
Yeah, you see some guys that just like it in different lanes, but you also see drivers searching around the racetrack, looking for where their car in a given race works the best. And that's the kind of driver I like, a guy that'll search around and try to find something.
Well, and while Harvick pulls away, you noticed Allgaier was closing in. Let's check back a little further. And 6th place, as you've got Paul Menard and Greg Biffle, as Biffle trying to close that gap and get back towards the top 5. Last lap he was quicker. Still got that smoke on the tire rub out the right, but Andy, you're right again. It's not affected him in a negative way as he is all over the back deck of that 98.
It looks like he's going forward now. I think he might be able to get this spot away from Paul Menard. They've made the car a little bit better.
Andy, I tell you what, when it's all said and done, I'd love to find out where that smoke's coming from.
Let's get more on the 98, Dave Burns.
Well, and he was having a really, really good run in that last run before the big wreck. Everything was good until about the time the caution came out. It just went like a light switch to loose, and that's what he's been battling ever since, and that's why Greg Biffle has been able to gobble him up, and now looks inside the 98.
Oh, yeah, Dave. He's got him right now. If he can just finish the pass. Menard's fighting like crazy to hold on. He's still got a fender to go, and here comes Menard back. Great side-by-side action. Now finally he has to give up. Good try, though, Paul. You gave it all you got right there. And Biffle finally takes over the spot, so move him up to 6th. He's got about 3 seconds to go, though, to catch up to 5th place, which is Justin Allgaier. For Menard, of course, his best run this year was 6th back at Daytona. He's had a great season so far in both Nationwide and Sprint Cup, doing very well in both series. And another guy who's having a great Nationwide season is that man right there, Brad Keselowski, looking for win number 1 here this year. And right now, he's got the points lead.
Marty, he's got Paul Wolf as the crew chief on this number 22 Brad Keselowski guy, our driver. And I really think this Paul Wolf is like a magic man. Wherever he goes, he always seems to get the cars handling. At the end of last year, he was a crew chief for Mike Bliss on that 11 car we saw at the end of last year's season. And that 11 car just flew every single race. This guy right here, he knows how to make them handle.
Well, it's been 8 starts since Brad's last win. That was Memphis last October. Let's get more on the 22, Jamie Little.
Well, Paul Wolf is picked right up where he left off. Rusty was talking about last year with CJM Racing, but it's hard to believe Paul has never gone to victory lane as a crew chief. He's gone to victory lane as a car chief, a mechanic, an over-the-wall guy, and as a driver himself. He said to win this year would mean the world to him. He has been working for it, so he and Brad Keselowski together, this would be a big night for them.
And Brad just put Jason Leffler a lap down. Jason was one of the 13 cars involved in that deal on the front straightaway. So that means we now have 17 cars on the lead lap, and we have 31 laps to go.
It is amazing what Jamie said, that he, to me, has never been to victory lane. I didn't realize that. Paul Wolf's such a good crew chief, and he's, like you said, Rusty, everywhere he goes, the car's running well. It'd be nice to see him get his first win.
Well, Andy, one thing I've noticed, he's going to have to stay pedaling hard, because that last lap by for Brad Keselowski, 29.34 compared to Joey Logano, running him down at a 28.90. Logano was on it.
Now, if you're wondering how far back Kyle Busch is, he is still 20 seconds behind the race leader. He's on the lead lap, but he's running in 16th position. And there is Kyle. That gives you an idea just how far back he is. He is going to need a caution. And you mentioned we're down to 30 laps to go. If he doesn't get it soon, it could be even harder. Let's get the speeds at the line, see who's the fastest right now. Kevin Harvick? Nope. How about Carl Edwards? So our race leader, the lead is now 1.4 seconds between first and second. So Logano starting to pick up a little ground on him.
Well, now you see the 22 car of Keselowski. He's got some clear racetrack. He's had to fight a lot of lap cars tonight, and now he's got a little clear track. We'll see what he can do in the clear. Logano now having to deal with the lap cars.
And there's Joey getting around the 09. That's Jason Bowles, his first run in that car this year.
Kind of like you, though, Rusty. You're looking at the last time by, both those cars ran the same speed, with Logano having to fight the lap car.
Yeah, I'm interested to see both of them, Andy, up in clear traffic, see how fast these guys really are. Obviously, they're both really good. That last time by, identical times with Keselowski and Logano. Well, look how close he's getting to him right now. He's got him at his gun sights.
He is getting closer. The gap is down to 1.3 seconds.
And one thing I was going to say earlier, the thing about Joey Logano is he does get better the whole race. I mean, he works on his car. He's obviously giving them good information, but he also seems to be able to turn that wick up just a little bit at the end of the race and really close the deal. And that's one thing I've really liked about his style.
One thing I've noticed also, Andy, that right front fender, he had damage earlier. These last series of pit stops, they've got that fender pulled out. They got that downforce back again, so this car went back to handling good now.
Joey Logano coming up on Josh Wise. Josh is lap traffic. Let's check in on some other cars. We haven't talked much about Ricky Stenhouse. He just got around Tony Raines, and Stenhouse right now in the 11th position. Now remember, this is a car that has had a disastrous season so far. I mean, they have had problems galore, and you can see his track tonight. His low was 36th. He is in 11th, Shannon Spake.
And this is the first start here in Phoenix for Ricky Stenhouse. Like you said, this team really needs a good run to get back in the top 30 in points. 4 out of 5 races have been 30th or worse this season. So this is a very strong run for the 6th car right now out there on the track.
Yeah, his best finish this year was 25th back at Bristol, and they're 36th in owner points coming into today. They had to qualify on speed, and of course they were able to do it, but this is a great run for him.
Yeah, he's doing a good job too. If you look at the car, doesn't have a lot of marks on it anywhere. He's kept his nose clean, and it's been a tough race for a lot of cars, so just staying out of trouble tonight's been hard.
It's got a lot of dead bugs on the front there, just like everybody else, and they show up on that white, that's for sure. Now, just behind is Clint Boyer. Now, remember, he was involved in that crash, and somehow he has managed to stay on the lead lap. He's running in 13th position. Look at this thing. I mean, it is beat up, and he has done a heck of a job. Got a lap down and got it back.
He drove all the way up. I mean, he was completely underneath the one car, James Busher, on that stack up that they had with that caution at the start-finish line.
But closing right behind him is Kyle Busch. Kyle in 14th position now. These guys are 20 seconds behind the race leader, and we're down to 23 laps to go.
Boy, Clint Boyer's car got in that crash, but he kind of crashed the car the good way. It's got the left front corner knocked down, got the left front fender pulled out. That generally makes him handle a little bit better.
Yeah, well, if they'd let you, that's kind of the way you'd build it.
Yeah, that's right.
Kyle gets around him if they let you. Kyle gets around him for the spot, so he's now up to 13th, but still 20 seconds behind the race leader. Nothing has changed up front, although Joey Logano, we can tell you, has closed the gap from 1.3 down to about 0.3 of a second. Take that gander at this as he is right on the back bumper now. All of a sudden, as you said, his car, the longer the run, that 20 car is coming to him.
Yeah, I don't think it's even going to be a fight right here. Logano's car's 2 or 3 tenths quicker at this point. You see, Brad Keselowski just lets him go.
So what was a 1.3 second lead just a few laps ago, all of a sudden we have our third different leader and our 5th lead change as Joey Logano takes over the top spot. He gets underneath the lap traffic of Kenny Wallace.
I say Keselowski did a good job of picking his battles. That one right there, he wasn't going to win.
No, you're exactly right. He wasn't going to get that one. And, you know, you take a look at Logano. I mean, he just didn't get Brad Keselowski stuck in traffic or nothing. I mean, he just drove up, caught him, and passed him.
So Joey could break the string. He is not qualified in the top 4. Remember, we told you that, 13 to 16 races have been won by the top 4 starting positions. And for Logano, I mean, he started in the 6th spot. And right now, with 19 laps to go, he's starting to pull away. Moving a little bit further back, the best battle on the track is between Brendan Gaughan and Kelly Byers for 9th and 10th position. And we're trying to pick them up on the racetrack. Here they come. Great work, guys. As Brendan has got the spot, and Byers is trying to close in on him, Dave.
And Marty, when Brendan Gaughan and crew chief Brad Parrott look back to this weekend, they'll look at the beginning of practice where they practiced better than they ever had so far this year. Brad told me this morning, we've come to the track loose every time, and we get ourselves all spun out trying to do a late in-race setup instead of really setting the practice setup early. Just setting something that's comfortable and gets us in the top 10. They practiced very well. They only had to make minor adjustments instead of taking big swings at it, and that's where they've stayed all night. Practice in the top 10, tweak the car in the top 10, and race in the top 10 if they can keep Byers behind them.
And Brendan told me, he says, we've got a top 10 car tonight. He says, I've got to bring it home. We've got the potential. And right now, he's got his hands full. He's 9th, but Kelly Byers all over him. Let's check in again for Joey Logano. He's now got a 1.5 second lead over Brad Keselowski. Now, there's the margin right there. And let's listen to the radio as Brad's going underneath Brian Scott.
Nobody else coming. 10-4, I just need a yellow. I'll win this race if I get a yellow.
So he knows he's got something left, but he needs a yellow, and so far we haven't seen it. Although remember that we have had 7 green-white checker finishes at this track, including 4 of the last 5. Jamie, you've got more on the race leader?
Well, I have just a little interesting tidbit on this race car that Joey Logano is racing tonight. Not only does it hold the track record for fastest qualifier from last fall with Denny Hamlin, this was the car that Denny Hamlin got into a wreck with Brad Keselowski with. He was out of the race. If you remember back, that was a big controversial race. Now the 20 car is coming back with a vengeance, and like I said, this car gets nothing but better as the laps go on. Joey has not said a word for 30 laps, guys.
And his margin is now 2.8 seconds, and the best battle is again on the left side of your screen as Kelly Byers is trying to take away 9th place from Brendan Gaughan, and he does it. So move Brendan back to 10th. And on the right side of your screen, you got lap traffic for Joey Logano as he is trying to go around Johnny Sauter. And Sauter, the last car on the lead lap, that is for Sauter now 16th. And we have 15 cars on the lead lap. And again, these two going after each other.
Yeah, they kind of swap spots there. Brendan's not giving up.
And I'm not liking these two going side by side down in the corner because generally something happens. I mean, you know how aerodynamically, loose these cars get when you get on the bottom. Caution.
And Brad Keslowski has just gotten what he wanted. Debris caution in turn number 1.
Be careful what you wish for. This 18 car just got the caution he was looking for, too. He's fast.
And there are only 15 cars on the lead lap. There is the debris out on the track.
I tell you, these guys all wanted that. Kevin Harvick's car was fast that last couple laps.
Joey Logano didn't want this.
No,
he's the one guy that didn't.
Let's retrace this for Logano. California, he led 130 laps, finished 5th. Led 21 at Bristol, finished 14th. Led 122 at Nashville, finished 8th. And here he is again leading, and we are with now 11 laps to go next time by.
Well, crew chief, I got a feeling right now it's going to come down to this pit stop. Who has the fastest pit stop? Because this track position right now is important. And I'm not going to say it's over, man, but they generally wreck a lot with like 10 laps to go, Marty, and I really think that's going to happen again.
Well, there's going to be some gamblers that are going to take 2 tires. Maybe try to steal a little track position too.
I don't know, man. You make the call. I wouldn't make a change if we pit. And we stuck on that freaking short run, too.
You heard him say they are not good on the short run.
Here they come.
All right. 23 is going to get the free pass for Johnny Sauter. That'll give us 16 cars on the lead lap. Joey is coming. So is the 22. And Jamie, you're up first again.
I'll tell you what, these two teams, the 22 couldn't be more happy with the caution, and the 20 could not be more unhappy with it. Now, the 22 said, you know what I like, guys? Snug me up a bit. They want to make this car faster. Now, the 20 car, Joey Logano said, I have been horrible on the short runs. This is going to kill us. Air pressure adjustment, fuel, and right sides only, guys. Dave.
Third place, Harvick will pit. 4 tires, no fuel for Kevin. No changes to the car. There will be 4 tires for the 60 car of Carl Edwards as well. He said to Drew Blickensderfer, have a plan ready in case a caution comes out. He said, I've got one. They will put on 4 tires on Carl's car as well. And they're leaving pit road in a jumble and big trouble for Allgaier.
Yeah, at the exit to pit road, Justin Allgaier gets turned around.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage to the left side also.
So a tough break for Allgaier as his string of top 10 finishes might, and he's got a flat left front. He was 5th place before this all happened.
Pit road damage. It's a tight pit road also. When you come down this front pit road, and it's a hairpin turn, actually. It's not a straight pit road like most, and there's a lot of problems down there.
All right, let's go on board and see what happened.
Your 32 car right around the corner here.
Right around the corner.
We just got taken out by the 88 coming out of his pit box.
So Kelly Byers gets into him, and Byers gets damage in this deal too. So a tough break for both of them.
These two cars just clobbered each other. I mean, right front of Kelly Byers just tore up big time. 12 car tore up big time. Well, that doesn't look as bad right there. I think that could pull that left front fender out.
Now several cars stayed out, so that will give us a few, that'll get the waiver round. We'll give you the update as soon as we know exactly how many that is. Looking at Kyle Busch, the word is that he almost had some problems on pit road as well.
Oh, man, it was just chaos down there for a while. You see right there, Logano gets into him, kind of punches him past. Now Kyle stages too deep in his pit stall, has to back up before they start work.
Thumbs up from the NASCAR official, says he's in the box, so it's okay.
I don't know if we'll make it. The transmission's done. Transmixer is DUN.
So what started out as a brilliant night, leading 131 laps, a penalty for jumping a restart, and now a transmission problem.
And now, how about Joey Logano? Does he have damage to that car that's going to affect him? He is the leader, but he's definitely got some damage to that right front.
Big time.
Yeah, it's torn up pretty good.
And he's only got 2 tires, too, right?
He took right side tires.
All right, we are down to 8 laps to go next time by. Lights are out on the pace car.
Actually, the top 4 took 2 tires. Looks like Kevin Harvick might be the first car with 4.
Well, Brad said, give me 4 tires and I can win this thing. And you got Joey Logano up front, 2 tires and wounded.
We can tell you Leffler and McDowell definitely came around on the wave around. They're back on the lead lap. And we are going to have 8 laps to go. And it is Logano, Edwards, then Brad Keselowski, Biffle in row 2, Harvick, Sorensen in row 3. Pace car is off. Buckle up, because this is going to get interesting. 8 laps to go, and oh, we almost had the accordion again. And Logano gets a great start. Biffle, high side, going around the 60. Here comes Keselowski. He's trying the high side. Remember, he said if we get a caution, we can win this race. Keselowski's third, but he's got a handful of Carl Edwards underneath him. Here comes Biffle going for the lead. Can he get it done?
On the bottom. Look at Harvick, 3 wide off of turn 4.
Like I said, he's the first car with 4 tires. Harvick was.
Kyle Busch, bad transmission and all, getting into the mix as well. He's back up to 4th. 7 laps to go. Battle for the lead. Logano trying to hold on. Biffle trying to take it away from him. Here comes Busch down to the low side now. If he's got transmission problems, he's not showing it. Here we go. Little rubbing. Nobody loose enough there to go around. And now it's still Logano with Keselowski now.
Whoa,
and he goes right underneath him. And it low. Man, did he light those brakes up. He went so deep. Here comes Kyle up the middle. He gets past Logano. Biffle on the inside. 6 laps to go.
And just what Keselowski needed. He's got 4 tires, clean air, and he is going to set sail right now.
He said short runs, and he said if we got the yellow, we could win this. Now he's got to hang on. He's got Kyle Busch in 2nd place right behind him. They've sort of sorted this out.
Actually, Kyle Busch has 4 tires. The last pit stop, it looks like the 22 car. Keselowski just took 2.
And
he's a sitting duck right now.
He got loose, and here comes Kyle underneath. So after the penalty, a bad transmission, here comes Kyle, and he's back into the race lead.
And where did he come from? He was mired back in the field.
Yeah, nothing to it.
Now he's gone.
At lap 149, nothing to it. He had the pass-through penalty, and here he is back in the race lead. Harvick takes over 3rd from Greg Biffle. 4 laps to go here at Phoenix.
And Logano's falling like a rock. That right front damage of 2 tires is just killing him right now.
And the damage came from an incident with his teammate on pit road. So he is now behind Carl Edwards in 6th position. Meanwhile, up front, 3 laps to go, and it is Kyle Busch leading now by 0.2 of a second.
After all this confusion and chaos, the best 2 cars are running 1-2.
And we talked in our pre-race show about how he comes from the back to the front, Kyle Busch that is, and here he's done it again.
Paul Menard looking underneath Logano. There's Stenhouse in this mix. He is in 10th position right now. And Logano just cannot hold any of these spots. People are going past him. It's got to be so frustrating for him. Here comes Lagasse, and Lagasse having one of his best runs. There is Clint Boyer along with Reed Sorensen. That is for 11th. So again, we've got great action going all over the track. 0.7 of a second is the lead. 2 laps to go. We'll get back to that in a moment. See if Boyer can get around here. Here comes the white flag. So Boyer clears, and now it's 1 lap to go. Your race leader. 3 times out of 5 races, the guy starting 2nd has won. Guess who started 2nd tonight?
Oh, look at Harvick on the bottom.
Kyle Busch. And here comes Kevin Harvick. So it's going to hold true unless something drastic happens. Your winner's going to come from the top 4 starting positions, 2nd to be exact. And here comes Kyle.
Well, we got to tear it down anyway.
What a comeback as Kyle Busch, after a penalty, comes all the way back for his 32nd Nationwide Series win, moving him into 3rd. Right behind him is Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Brendan Gaughan in 4th, Greg Biffle in 5th, then Edwards, Menard, Lagasse, Stenhouse in 9th.
Incredible, man. Absolutely incredible.
incredible. Burn that sucker down.
And Logano ends up 10th, and that was Jason Radcliffe saying, go ahead and burn the tires to the ground.
Oh, that is a fun way to win one right there, though. Pass them all like that.
Well, we were worried if he would want to talk. I think he'll want to talk now. What do you think?
Hey, I think so.
Guys, what about Kevin Harvick? The last corner gets past Keselowski for second place. Unbelievable.
It looked
Good
like
run.
the 4 tires was the right call. The two cars that took 4 tires finished 1-2.
Well, remember when he restarted 23rd back on lap 21, and it only took him 6 laps to get back into the top 10? We probably should have expected it, but when he told us on the radio that the transmission was going south, we were all wondering if he'd even make it.
Well, he won it the hard way.
With this win, he passes Jack Ingram. We mentioned he's now all alone in 3rd on the all-time win list. Only Kevin Harvick and Mark Martin are in front of him. It's his 2nd win of 2010, so now we have 2 two-time winners. And it's his 3rd win here in Phoenix that allows him to join some exclusive company of Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards.
Looks like that transmission's working pretty good now.
Yeah. I don't see a problem with that. Just had to get his pit crew standing up in the wall for him. Get him a little nervous, I guess.
What a burnout. Check it out.
Well, let's talk to Kevin Harvick. David?
Well, the in-race reporter's watching some good burnouts over there, but man, that was pretty exciting at the end. 4 tires the right call, huh?
Yeah, that bottom line got bottled up, and Kyle was able to get around the outside, but right call by our Jimmy John Chevrolet crew chief, Ernie Cope. Our line didn't go, and his line did, and I knew we were sitting pretty with 4 tires there, but just 1 short.
That kind of fun, all that dicing at the end like that?
Yeah, that is fun. I mean, especially when you have different strategies. We want to win, but, that's a good race for the fans.
Great run tonight for the 33, finishing 2nd to Kyle Busch.
Great stuff, David. And you saw the tires literally shredding on the back of the 18. That's why Kyle had to walk over. Look at it. There's nothing left. Well, Jason
now that's
said,
a burnout right there. It's a party now.
It's his 5th overall Phoenix win. 3 now in the Nationwide Series. 1 in Cup. 1 in the trucks. And Shannon, let's check in with you. I think you caught up with our new points leader, Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski checking out his car, make sure there's no damage. New points leader, but a lot of action on the track tonight, Brad. Walk me through that restart. What happened?
Wow, there was action everywhere. I got to thank the fans because this was an awesome show, and I'm just glad that everybody watches because this is cool, man. I had a lot of fun. I had a shot at winning the race. I kind of had Kyle upset in the car, it looked like, and he started making mistakes on the restart and was able to take advantage of that. But, our discount tire Dodge was awesome. We just couldn't hold on to the speed in long runs. Otherwise, I felt like we could have won tonight. But, we'll keep digging, keep getting faster. Like I said, took over the championship lead, and we're really happy about that. And I got to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Lee Langley, who's out serving and and blew up in a Humvee and in a hospital in Germany. We're pulling for you. I'm sure you're watching, Lee. Hope you get better. So, great night.
All right, great night for Brad Keselowski. Dave?
Shannon Brendan Gaughan comes home 4th, by far your best run of the year. Congratulations.
No, that was just overall good performance by the South Point Camry tonight. The guys, Chris Lambert, who's Brian Vickers' spotter, normally spotted for us tonight. Him and Big Bud Parrott have been spotting for me this year, and they've had their work cut out for them. But they had a great night tonight. Brad did a great job calling the race, and in the end, I love restarts. I learned from Ron Hornaday and Jack Sprague, 2 of the best, and I took it real seriously when I was younger and said, hey, you gain a lot of spots here. Guys bang on each other. Our Toyota drove right to the front, and I passed Biffle. I go, holy cow, I'm in 4th. Saw the white flag, and I was not going to give it up.
We talked about all the communication, all the things that they corrected this weekend, and it started with practice, Marty.
Big step forward for that team, and they have been working hard. So a good run for Brendan Gaughan in the 62. And Kyle Busch has limped it on into Hellman's victory circle, and let's go send it to Jamie Little.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Let's throw.
Well, it is a mix in victory lane between laughs, disbelief, celebration. Everybody's looking at each other down here like, how in the world did that happen? Kyle Busch back in victory lane here at Phoenix for the third time in his career. We talked about at the beginning of the show, Kyle, you are the comeback kid at this racetrack. So tonight, you get a drive-through penalty. The last pit stop, your teammate runs into you. Then you say the transmission's done. How in the heck did you end up here?
I don't know, but first off, I got to apologize to Joey. You know, I didn't do a very good job on pit road there with him, but we made contact, and I hate it for him. He probably could have won the race, but man, this Combos Camry was pretty awesome tonight. It was super, super fast, and I can't thank Jason and these guys enough. They worked all night, and hopefully that was an exciting win for the fans. I don't know how we could have made it any better of a show right there, and the kids from my Sunshine Acres home, they're here tonight up in the grandstand, so that's cool. And thank Nationwide Series, Jim Sexton with Z-Lines, NOS Energy Drink, Marquis Jets, Gillette, everybody that helps me out and helps me get here. I guess I probably got to pay for the quarter panel damage here, but that's all right. It's well worth it, that's for sure.
You said burn it up, I believe. All right, it started getting exciting. Lap 137 on the restart, Kyle. I know it is a Gatorade NOS Energy celebration here. It started getting exciting there between you and Brad on that restart, and then it was chaos after that. Your perspective, what happened?
I don't know. All I know is I paid NASCAR back by winning.
All right, congratulations. Kyle Busch ends up in victory lane. Alan?
All right, Jamie. Kyle Busch lined up 10th for the final restart with 8 laps to go. He led the last 5 laps. Go figure. And it's on to Texas next week, next Saturday, 3 Eastern on ESPN2, where Kyle Busch goes for 5 wins in a row. Up next is NBA Fast Break. What a night. Penalties, late restarts, pit road contact, the scramble to the finish. And Kyle Busch is celebrating at victory lane. So long from Phoenix.